is more or less. I don't know. Maybe it's pushing other things, but there's more on screen. But and Nintendo does a lot of tricks to get 60.
Hey, are
Should be
you
able to do better. But
Eric?
you know.
Eric, is your Skype updated? What about yours, Break?
I don't know. I was trying to find my headset. I didn't know where it was. I just found it like a moment ago. You have the latest version. Yeah, I'm good.
Yes.
Okay, good. Good, good,
Just
good.
running around all over the fucking place.
Um, that's how I
Never let
feel.
never let Mrs. Breakman move my stuff again.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Where the hell? Damn.
Where's this mug person at?
He's gonna be here. He's good. We're gonna be a little bit late. Let's see. How about now?
Whose mug? Oh, seriously, if he doesn't show up, he might as well not exist.
No. He's coming.
We should just call him part
Just
timer when he shows
just
up.
start looking for a
Part-timer.
new host.
Part timer. Yeah.
Part time mug.
Wow. What the hell?
Why aren't you working? Jesus.
Why is it not?
There we go.
Fucking. All right. Jesus Christ, man. Why are we not live? That's what I want to wonder.
Someone on Jesus.
Something about Jesus?
Gypsy Jesus.
Oh.
Someone on Twitter.
Okay. We're live apparently. We're just waiting for Mug. Mug will be here. If you're joining us on YouTube, just hang tight for just a bit. We usually BS for a few minutes before we start the show proper. That's part of the advantages of being on in the chat room on YouTube. I thought of having an after show that's only for the chatters. Like a 10-15 minute after show. That way.
Halloween themed GDP.
No. Actually, on Halloween, I am gonna do a GDP. I think it's on Tuesday, so we'll have a Halloween themed GDP on. We'll have it on.
Hey, Break, do you have a classic yet?
I think he's away for a second. Okay, I think we're good there. Make sure we're still live. Yeah, it looks like we're live, so we're good.
Hey, Break. He's still not there.
Yeah, he's taking a second here. All right, let's see. Why do I not see anybody in the YouTube chat?
Because you got a cap on your head.
What if I took it off? Would that be better?
No, it's a joke from Mario Odyssey.
Oh.
You possess this Moai and you put your shades on, you can see hidden platforms.
Yeah. Hey, Eric, can you do me a favor? Can you go to the YouTube grinders and see if anybody's in chat there? Because I literally cannot see anybody in chat.
Oh, there's no one there.
What? Alright, let's try this again. Okay, it looks like we're on YouTube. We still haven't started Freak 5, so the show proper hasn't started. I'm wondering why Bridget's having a hard time. I'm having a hard time seeing Bridget in the YouTube chat. Maybe now. Hang on.
No way, I can't tell who's in the chat actually. I see. I only see people when they type.
Is anybody there? Apparently, she's the only one in chat. She's telling me now, but let's see. I gotta do this. Boom. And I gotta do.
Oh, there's an emoji button. Maybe it's the view I'm looking at. Maybe I can see the other chatters if I switch the view.
I have no idea how YouTube chat works. I fight with it all the damn time, literally. I can never see anybody in there. Yo 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 yo. Hello. I typed in hello twice and I don't.
I haven't seen that.
You didn't? I don't
No,
know.
but that might have been before I jumped in. So try something now.
Let's try something else. Anybody there?
Yeah, I can't see anything from you.
I don't know what's going on.
Darude Sandstorm is now a 16-year-old song.
Holy hell, really? That one
Wait,
that goes.
Wait, no, 21-year-old song. I just saw a tweet. So Sandstorm can now legally buy beer.
That's
It's that
funny.
old. Oh God.
Why can I not see the motherfucking chatters in YouTube?
Now I really do feel old. Weird thing is, I remember hearing that song in the 2000s, so it was already older than that.
Dude, don't even get me started on songs that I can remember listening to, man. We're waiting on Mug and then Breakman, and we'll get started.
I'm here. I'm
Oh,
here.
you're
I'm
here.
in for a time.
I had to go to the PP and I had to get a beer. I had PP.
Hey, Break. If you still want SNES Classics, I think Best Buy is going to be selling them on Sunday. Again.
Best Buy. I was at GameStop earlier, and like, basically what I got from GameStop is they only get a handful of them at a time every other week, and
That
it's
means
usually
you got to go out Saturday at like 9 o'clock
no. See, that's the
and
thing.
stand in line.
No. Listen, that's the thing. You didn't let me finish. And they usually get them on like Tuesday or Wednesday, and they're gone by noon. So I have pretty much no chance of getting one from GameStop.
If I were to get one,
I was talking about Best Buy.
No, I know, but I was talking about I was at GameStop, and that's what I'm saying.
Well, that's your problem. You're going GameStop.
Well, I've been to Best Buy too. I never see them at Best Buy, but I'll go
they had a
Sunday.
couple.
You said
They had a couple at my.
I just made a tweet about it, or retweet.
Anyways, I saw a couple at.
Oh, I see that. Okay.
I saw a couple at Best Buy. What was it, yesterday or the day before?
It means they're gone now.
Yeah, they're probably gone. I should have bought one just to resell it. How much are they reselling? Like 100 or what?
Reselling, I'd guess probably at least 100.
Yeah.
If you're gonna be one of those guys, I'm gonna come to Colorado just to punch you in the throat.
Yeah, I do
I,
that too.
look, when you don't have money and you have an opportunity to make easy money like that, like that's, dude, I understand. I know the complaints, but fuck if I wouldn't do that in a heartbeat right now.
I'd sell it $5 above the price just to make tiny profit. And then that way you are not so much an asshole for
No,
doing
I
that.
I would be an asshole at the moment because I have literally $0, and I want a PlayStation so bad I can taste it, literally. Um, let's see. Still looking.
People have the idea that Nisa is getting Zen 3, but that's not going to happen. I'm pretty sure Xseed's already got that lockdown. I mean, for one reason, someone told us. We aren't going to say who this someone is, but I'm inclined to believe that.
All right, did you tweet Outbreak?
Yes, I did.
Okay, cool. We're just holding on, waiting for Mug to get his ass up here, and then we'll get it started.
That is hilarious. In the second to last episode of Dragon Ball Z, when they're all gathered and it's like before Goku trains Oob and the series ends, Goten's wearing a shirt that says his name, but it also said, instead of saying Son Goten, it says Goten's son. They fucked up.
Huh. That's weird.
Twitch.tv. I know this is scintillating radio for anybody that's going to be watching this episode of Grinders on YouTube.
Yeah, sorry, I was busy masturbating.
Yeah, no masturbating.
Why?
Well, at least not till we start the show, dude. You know, I mean, you gotta give it a little bit of time to, like, you know, get in there and, you know, kind of work your way into it, you know. Let's see. All right.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
What you
cool.
said. Excuse me. Delicious.
Did you play any Fractured Butthole?
No, I don't have it yet.
There's a demo. You could have played that.
I don't want to play a demo.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get the game eventually.
Does the demo like carry data over though?
I doubt it. If it did, I might be interested in playing it, but I doubt it.
Wyland's in chat. What up, Wyland? What up, Wyland? We haven't started yet, Wyland, just to let you know. We're waiting on Mug to get up here so we can get the party started. Unless do you guys just want to start the show and then when Mug gets here, he gets here?
What is he doing?
I don't know, masturbating? Fuck if I know.
Why don't you go downstairs and be like, bitch, what the fuck are you doing?
Get off your harmonica.
Take the harmonica out of your ass. We got a show to do.
Quit blowing on that skin harmonica, Mug.
Even if it's yours?
Yeah, especially if it's mine.
You had to think about that, didn't you?
How dare you?
I didn't even know what that is, and I kind of don't want to know.
Oh, it's pretty self-evident.
Howdy, Wyland says, what up? We're close to getting started, I guess. I guess we could start the show.
Actually, I wanted to ask Wyland something, because I saw him on Twitter saying, like, somebody, like, was making fun of him or something.
Of Wyland?
Yeah.
What?
I got more questions. Like,
Also, I think it's absolutely
make fun
hilarious
of
when
the
you make a
email.
YouTube snack review video years ago, and only just now did someone reply, and only to say "shut the fuck up." It's
uh,
like, yeah, that's not gonna matter now.
According to Dr. Gary Lum, men need to ejaculate at least 250 times a year. That only works if you don't come dust, Freak Five. So
250 times a year. So you're saying I'm well above average.
I'd get lucky to get one a year. uh,
Oh wow.
let's see. What are we doing here? Damn it! How dare you?
We're still doing the werewolves versus vampires talk.
Why not? We're gonna be doing some Halloween stuff today, so it seems rather appropriate.
Team
Um.
Edward versus Team Jacob. That's the end of the episode.
Oh my God! No, it's not. I think the title of this episode should be Halloweener. Because we've never titled an episode Halloweener before.
I don't know what Halloweener is.
Do you know what a wiener is?
Yeah.
Do you know what Halloween is?
Okay, now I know. It's like whenever you're not talking about dicks.
What up?
He said
Yeah.
Guy thought Jim Sterling was making fun of him. Jim
So
took a
short, dude.
joke comment I made and used it in a video.
What's that?
And the response was Jim was him plugging in a merch store.
All right. Mug is getting settled in as we speak, so I'll just wait for Mug and then we'll start the show. We're starting.
Oh,
okay.
okay. That's
Does
cool,
Jim
then.
follow
That's cool.
Wayland or something?
What's that?
Does Jim follow Wayland
I have no idea. What are you talking about? Jim
on
who?
Twitter?
Guy thought Jim Sterling was making fun of me. Jim took a joke
No.
comment I made and used it in a video. Really? Jim. I have to watch that, Wyland. That's badass. Yeah.
What a dick!
Sterling.
How dare he?
I've tried to get Sterling.
Wait, what was the comment of yours that he used in the video to talk back to this guy?
I'm. Oh shit! There we go. Looks like Bridget's in the Twitch chat. So I don't know, guys. I'm thinking Twitch or probably Twitch is gonna be the best best chat deal going. So all right.
Yeah, everybody on the internet apparently is serious, and if you try and make a joke, like you just, nah, people don't like that anymore.
Yeah. All right.
Trust
let's
me.
Said it was about the fake review. What fake review?
All right. All right. You guys ready?
Yes.
Okay.
I
Hey,
Right now.
Dog. If you
What's
didn't
up?
know, according to Freak, Frank can't masturbate because of his arthritis.
How dare you? How dare you?
That would explain his surly disposition.
How dare you? All right, here we go, guys. We're going to start the show a little bit late this time, so expect us to go a little over, most likely. All right, here we go. Unless we can just breeze through the news, which we never seem to do, so, but here we go. And welcome everybody to another fantastic Halloween edition of Your Grinders. I am your host, Frankenstein Branches, alongside my trusty cohorts, I don't even know a nickname for you, Breakman. Breakman, the baddie.
You should have written this out beforehand.
Eric,
Yeah.
Eerie Eric, and the
It sounds like
monstrous.
you thought about your name, and then the rest of us, you're
Mug
just
the
like,
Dude.
harmonica demon lord.
No.
Yeah, there you go.
It,
And you
it's
should have gone with like Beastly, the Beastly Breakman, the
no.
Eerie
Oh,
Eric
Beastly,
RPG, and
Beastly Breakman. I like that. And
the and the
Oh
monstrous mug.
God.
Yeah,
Yeah, thanks for ruining it. I had it queued up and,
whoa,
and
whoa, whoa,
everything,
whoa, whoa,
but it's all
whoa.
good.
Back that
You,
train
you're
up.
you're the
Don't
host
blame
of the
him
show.
for ruining it. You're the one who stumbled.
No,
I know, and I just did that off the top of my head.
no, I was gonna do monstrous mug, and I had Eerie Eric, but I forgot Breakman. So I had one for Breakman too, but I just
Breakman the busted.
no Beastly's fine. Beastly Breakman.
And
So
and last
Or Break
and,
Wolfman.
and ladies and gentlemen, last and certainly least, the flatulent Frank.
oh,
How about
dare
Break
you?
Wolfman? What do
How
you think,
dare you?
Frank?
Yeah,
Say,
there you
Frank.
go, Frank. Yeah. How about
Frank the crank.
how dare you guys? Let's
we
just get started.
have, instead of Cranky Kong, we have Frankie Kong.
Oh God, how dare you guys? How dare you all? I hate you all. You know
I'd
that?
easily hit that.
I really hate
Aw.
you all.
By
all right,
hate you mean love.
let's get started
Hey,
with
man, don't make me come in there and give you hate hugs.
yeah. Oh
Aw.
God, don't even think about doing that. I'll throw up. I'll throw up on you, man. All right, here we go, guys. Let's get started with the news on this wonderful Halloween weekend. We got plenty of stuff for y'all. Lots to talk about, lots in the news, lots of Halloween stuff. So let's go ahead and start the news, Eric.
News is starting from RPG site. This is about Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth Hacker's Memory. Is got a launch date for the U.S. and Europe, and that'll be January 19th. And it'll be available for PlayStation 4 as digital only on the Vita. Surprised they didn't just push it to. Well, it's better than just doing a straight up shitty port from a Vita to a Switch, because they could have done a Switch version of this.
Yeah.
Which is
All
what Koei Tecmo did with Share Nights 2, and it's not that good.
Mm. All right.
I mean, I'm thankful that it's better performing, but they barely did anything to it.
No. All right. Well, let's move on to the next story because that's kind of disappointing. Maybe this won't be disappointing. Breakman.
Coming to us live from RPG site. Sway. The Ilvard Insurrection releases for PC on October 31st.
It's by the way, it's Zwei, a
Zwei.
German word for two. Zwei.
Zai? Oh, okay.
Also,
No,
I wish they could have just
basically-
called it 2.
Yeah, well, it's like the reason it's like it's the word is it's Zwei, like Z. It's pronounced
Zwei.
like ZVAI, like Zwei.
Zai, okay.
Yeah, but
Like
what's funny
Steve
is
Vai.
it's like Zwei is like it's normally written with like 2 exclamation points, but it's like this is the second game in this series, which the first one never came out in the U.S. So they called this one the Ilvard Insurrection, which abbreviates nicely to Zwei Roman numeral 2. Like, oh, that's cute, it's clever. Anyway,
Okay.
I got that review.
All
And
right.
when I get done with that, there'll be a review of that.
Sweet. All right. Let's continue with the story. Is that it?
Okay, that is a. I like that title now. It's kind of clever.
Yeah.
Roman numeral 2 like that. Anyway, the Humble Store on October 31st for GOG and Steam and Windows PC. The game will launch for 10% off. The regular selling price is $29.99 in American dollars, $29.99 in euros, and $24.99 in pounds. The new HD port features visual improvements as well as 2,000 never before voiced lines in English localization. Wow, that's cool.
Yeah. So that's decent. Anyways. All right. I think that's all we need on that. Mug, next story, please.
all right, coming to us from Gematsu. Reverie is coming to PS4, or at least it would do if my yay, finally something loads up. Is an Earthbound and Legend of Zelda inspired action adventure game announced back in September for PS Vita, and it really, really looks like Earthbound.
I know. I was gonna say it does look like Earthbound.
I mean, like this like it's kind of skirting the edge of like this goes a little beyond homage and where it might be considered kind of ripping off.
Yeah, I agree.
They are hurting from other three so badly they make their own games.
Yeah.
Both the PS4 and PS Vita versions will be released first digitally with limited quantity physical editions to follow. Physical edition will include a manual, map, and physical soundtrack CD in addition to the copy of the game on disc or cartridge. Accompanying the PS4 announcement is the reveal of a new area called Butler's Cay, where the most notable landmarks are the cemetery and the church, which are based off of early New Zealand architecture and history, such as the Christ Church in Russell.
Okay.
That's the end of this. That is the end of it. But yeah,
Okay.
it is very, very shameless in its inspirations. I mean, it's even more directly, inspired by, I do that kind of scare quotes around inspired. It's even more directly inspired by Earthbound than Undertale was.
Yeah. Freakenstein in chat says, I had a friend who, when she played Earthbound, her favorite food was cake, and her favorite thing was sodomy. Wow. That's, wow. So
that's something Doc Sigma would get kicked out of.
So tell us more about your friend.
Yeah, exactly. Was she hot?
She's like, I like cake and sodomy. I need to do this first.
Right, exactly. All right, let's move on to the next story that hopefully doesn't have sodomy in the title. This comes to us from Gamatsu. Shin Megami Tensei 5. Sodomy. No, I'm just kidding. Shin Megami Tensei 5.
Shin Sodomy Tensei.
Yeah,
okay, I would be more interested in that game. Really?
Shin Megami Tensei 5 will be a game that sympathizes with the times. Latest issue of Famitsu formally announced the game for Switch yesterday, which was the day before now, I think. The tidbits are as follows. Wow, I'll just read the first one because it's a long list of tidbits. But first,
something like it's an analog to Persona 5.
First Shin Megami Tensei title was released October 25 years ago. We wanted to tell everyone that Shin Megami Tensei series will continue, so we use this timing to make the announcement. So there you go. One of the directions we're taking with it is to re-examine the, quote, characteristics of the era. There are surely many people frustrated by troubles both at home and abroad, such as anxiety about finding a job and getting old, or terrorist and nuclear weapons.
Shitty prime ministers.
I don't want a game about finding a job and having to deal with, like, the news, fake news and shit like that.
You're going to be doing Demon Summoning. You're just going to have to deal with people who are dealing with that.
Oh my god. I got to get to chat here in a second, but I want to make a Shin Megami Tensei game that can sympathize with such an era. That's our challenge. Kind of appropriate for the times. But the Shin Megami games are great. I'm glad this is coming out on the Switch. I want to get to something in chat here. Wyland said he saw Nosferatu for the first time last night.
I think it would have been great if they had made it multi-platform for the PS4.
Yeah, let me finish.
Does he mean the original?
What?
Yeah, like the old silent movie with the what was the character's name, like Max Shrek or something like that?
Yeah, I think that movie's great. I was doing another show at another point in time in my life where I got pushed back on that movie. Nobody liked it but me, but I can appreciate the silent movies. I like the version of Nosferatu, not the original, but there's one with an orchestral score put in the background that makes it like a lot better. And
this kind of slightly off. This is a little bit off topic, but actually reminds me of something. You know the old silent movie Battleship Potemkin?
No, I do not.
It's very. Oh, obviously it's a silent movie. It's very old, but it's like there was a thing where it's like, someone made an alternate soundtrack for that movie that's meant to just, you start it up as the movie starts and it's meant to play over it. It's like Pet Shop Boys made an alternate sound, like they released an album that was called Battleship Potemkin. It's just meant to be a soundtrack to that.
And
very strange.
Freak Five's exiled. Let's see. It's he says, "Are you sure you weren't looking at a video, Frank?" And Wyland says it was at a screening that also had stage show with local horror host Sammy Terry. With a live organist playing along with the movie. That would have been fucking phenomenal.
wow.
I would have loved to have seen that. That's
That would be
awesome,
awesome.
Wyland.
But I will say that, yes, I am certain that I wasn't looking at a video of Frank because my lunch is still in my stomach.
How dare you? How dare you? You're exiled. All right, next story, Mug, since you opened your mouth.
Oh, yeah, well, Yomi Sakuhana has been delayed to spring 2019 in Japan for none of you who knew what that was. It's an Xbox One dungeon RPG with no screenshots, and it's like the game was first announced as a non-dungeon RPG planned for release in spring 2017, then was delayed to 2018 as the genre was changed to a dungeon RPG. That's literally the entirety of the story.
So Experience makes what they've been known to do, dungeon RPGs. I didn't even know it was a non-dungeon RPG. I think we just heard about it and that's it.
And in the comments, people are like, "Yeah, vaporware," and I'm like, "It's gonna get canned." Yeah.
No, it probably won't get canned. They just will shift it from the Xbox to something else.
Yeah, let's talk about something that probably won't get canned, Eric. Next story.
Next story is about Death End Request, and it's launching March 1st in Japan next year. And if you really want me to talk about the voice actors that we don't know, because I don't know too many Japanese seiyuu. But otherwise, standard edition is going to cost 7,200 yen, and the limited edition will cost 10,200 yen.
All right. There you go. So it's got not much details on it, so we'll probably get more next week or the week after Death End Request. All right, next story.
It looks like it's using a little bit of a revised engine from that one other game that they did. I'm trying to remember what it was called, but it was Trillion. That's what it was.
Freak 5 is exiled again. You son of a bitch. Next story, Breakman.
Huh? What? Next story?
Yeah.
Coming to us live from Gomatsu, Deathmark coming to PS4 and Switch. PS Vita horror adventure coming to more platforms with new elements. Experience is bringing its horror adventure game Shinen?
Sheen.
Yeah, it's just Sheen. She is like it's just the vowel sound is held twice as long as Sheen.
Sheen. Okay. Or Deathmark to PlayStation 4 and Switch, the latest issue of Weekly Famitsu.
Yeah. So that's cool. It looks cool. It's got kind of a dark vibe to it, which
PlayStation 4 will launch on January 18th. It'll cost 5,800 yen, standard edition, and 7,800 for the limited edition. Switch version will be out in 2018.
Is this coming out to North America? Because this would.
I don't know, but considering all of Experience's games to date, like since I'm gonna say Operation Abyss.
Okay.
I'd say it's highly likely.
All right. Well, I'm down. I should have the Switch by then too. All right. Next story. Eric.
Starly Girls, game called Starly Girls, a strategy RPG is in development for consoles, and Kadokawa Games is developing it for smartphones in partnership with Gcraft, and it's planned for release on console. Yeah. And you take the role of a captain in a super gravity warship Asterism, together with vice captain Hoshi Musume, Star Girls, known as Starly Girls.
Asterism, all right, sounds like a burgeoning market.
Asterism, sweet. I'm totally down.
Anyways,
I'm behind that market.
Players operate unique mecha known as G-Gears and fight against the fate to bring back the shine of the stars. Yeah. And if I remember correctly, Gcraft was the company that made Arc the Lad.
So like they're fighting to bring back the shine of the stars. And the first thing when I hear that,
yeah, that whole deal. All right,
I need to play a Katamari Damacy in the sequel one day.
Oh, Katamari is a great game, man. I love that.
Good games.
All right.
Utterly bizarre and fun.
Yeah, totally fun. You had a game called Everything that sort of reminded me of that.
It's got
Mark.
well, at least it's got the same kind of visual to
Yeah,
it. But yeah,
yeah,
everything was a very enjoyable game.
yeah. It's a great game. All right, next story comes to us from Gamatsu. Metal Max Xeno announced for the PS4 and Vita. Wow, this is the third update. I know we've talked about this before. The new.
No, we haven't actually.
I think we have had a story.
No,
on
we
this,
have
right?
not.
I think we
It's
have,
just been updated
sir.
3 times since the story broke.
I think we have, sir. Anyways,
We've talked about Metal Max before, but not this one.
Oh, maybe that's something different. Maybe that's what I was thinking of. Let's see. New post-apocalyptic RPG tease for PS4, PS Vita last week is Metal Max Xeno. Here's a list of the staff: Yoshimi Yasuda, Hiroshi Miyaoka is the director. The producer is Juntaro Kunu. Music is Satoshi Katakura. I should have given this one the break, man. Character design, Oda Nan. Monster design, Tsuji Yamamoto. So there you go. It'll be launching in Japan spring of 2018. So that's cool. There's new details about the game content, and you can look at all that stuff.
I want to air my grievances with this game right now.
Okay.
I've not played a single Metal Max except for like watching footage of Metal Saga, but which is unfortunately the only Metal Max game we got in the US, and didn't do well because that one had a terrible translation that Atlas provided, and two, it wasn't the best game in the series, and because the other games are far more insane and interesting. And this game looks like it's stripped off all of that. And judging by them adding Xeno to the title, it sounds like they're trying to go after Xenoblade Chronicles X.
Okay.
And they'll probably fail.
Don't judge it until you play it. I'm sure you'll play it, Eric.
Yeah, but I think most of what makes Metal Max interesting isn't present in this game.
All I heard was stripped. That's the only thing that I heard was stripped. So that's good. Next story. Speaking of stripped, let's go to the next story. Breakman.
Real quick question. Did chat freeze for me? Is it still going? Because I think I've frozen.
Still going.
Damn it. I'm alright. I'm going to have to get back in chat in a moment then. Yeah. Okay, coming to us live from Gamatsu. Mega Dimension Neptunia VIIR. Or does that mean 7?
V2R.
V2R is what they're. That's okay. V2R coming west in spring 2018. Mega Dimension Neptunia.
That's idiotic.
V2R will launch for PlayStation 4 with PlayStation VR. Yeah, I hate this name.
It's basically Neptunia V2 with VR added and some tweaked gameplay mechanics.
Why do the Japanese love to do all that wordplay with their titles? It's weird.
Does it translate better in Japanese?
I don't know,
Is it more clever in Japanese?
It's just
not really.
Japan just likes to be different.
Okay, got it.
All right, that's good on that story.
I've always wondered, like, when we see bad titles, is it just like a translation error, or they really think they're clever?
Yeah.
No, there's just it's just a thing. They they just like they like they like English the way we like Asian languages. Like it looks neat.
Oh, I got you. Okay, cool.
You put Sugoi Daisuke as the title of a game.
Yeah. It looks
cool.
cool.
So you're saying like how people get those Asian band tattoos and stuff, like and they're probably not what the people think they are.
Knife.
So
here's a final example.
So you get like that. You get like one of those band tattoos, and they think it means like peace and love, and it probably means something like your penis or something. we're gonna see like the reverse in Japan. So there's Japanese men walking around with your penis.
You'll see some very amusing shirts and stuff over there. Like I've seen one where it's like this red shirt with this bright and happy, cheerful font that says like all down the front of it says "I hate myself and I want to die." I'm not even kidding. Which is actually awesome. A Kurt Cobain quote.
That's morbid.
And
but
like,
fun.
But my favorite bit of English that I've ever seen on a shirt belonged to my friend Chris. And it was this shirt that was just covered in it looked like scraps of newsprint, just bits and pieces that people have torn off of a newspaper, but it's all printed in this big collage kind of thing, with no real rhyme or reason behind it. But it's all it's all in English text, but I should say it's all in English text. But the best bit of it was up on his left shoulder, and he pointed out to me, he's like, "This is why I bought this shirt." And it just says it has, it's not really big or anything, but it covers maybe about 3 inches of fabric. But it says, "Learnig, not learning, but learnig, N-I-G, Ken learning 10 brings B-R-I-N-G-S brilliance."
Okay.
Applause.
Is learning like an egg? The learning egg.
Learning. Like that's it. I found it. I found the apotheosis of English. This is perfect. It will never get better than this.
Right on. All right, let's move on to the next story from Gamatsu. Dragon Ball Fighter Z.
It's just fighters. The Z is a stylized S.
Oh my god! Fuck this shit, man. It is what it is. It's Fighter Z.
Whoa!
It's like
Dragon Ball can get away with that.
No. Listen.
Yes, again, Dragon Ball Z. I mean, that's.
Look,
it's
check
called
this out.
Dragon Ball Z. So
hey, they didn't play on words when they did Xenoverse. They just made it as an X instead of a Z.
I hate this shit. It's like that show that came out that one time.
I hate it when it's about zombies. When it was like, oh, this show's about zombies, and it's spelled ZOMBIEZ.
No, I hate it in general, and I hate things like when 7 came out, it was SE the number 7EN. I'm like, no.
Or like fan 4 stick or 3R.
God. Yeah, or num 3 R's. Yeah, that's what I called that stupid show. By the way, that show sucked. I hated that show.
Don't forget Driver with a 3.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
You mean Driv 3R? Like I was talking about, Fear 3 or 3R.
Yeah, exactly.
That's one of the most broken ass fucking games I've ever played.
Yeah.
Or the fourth Scream movie, Screamform.
Yeah, I know. I hate that shit. I
Scream 4 even worth watching though?
Yes,
it's not bad.
It's
not bad. It's better than Scream 3.
I like Scream 3.
Wait, 4. Okay, yeah, I remember 4. I don't know. Like my problem with the third one was basically like a satire for me. Like I thought it was a comedy. If you watch it as a comedy,
supposed to be.
I know, but if you watch it as a comedy, the third one's kind of enjoyable. I mean, for God's sakes, Jay and Silent Bob make a cameo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, okay. If you look at the original 3 movies, they're kind of sending up all the old horror tropes.
Yeah, I hate the second one though.
Well, okay, but that's beside the point though. It's like when so with the fourth one, it's like we're revisiting. We're jumping on a bandwagon and revisiting an old, like a dormant franchise, and like trying to make it modern. So they're kind of sending up that trend, and it can be argued whether or not they did a decent job of it, or else they just kind of come off as an also ran. But I think on the whole they did a pretty good job of it.
Yeah, well, my problem with the Scream franchise is they're so beholden to Sydney and the other characters.
But
was it Dale or something like that? They need to move on from those characters when you're watching like Scream, at any point do you really think Sydney's gonna die?
No, but that's the whole
exactly
thing.
Like you need like. And I'm not saying like just kill her off and like move on. I'm saying like make another like original Scream.
No, I think the Scream franchise is dead. It died when Wes Craven went to the grave. But I thought they did a decent job with it. I do agree with you that it did grow stale after. The third one was not super good. I thought it was okay. I mean, it was
like I said, if you watch it like as a total comedy, like it's funny, but it's not a good movie.
The third one is rougher. We'll say it's rougher on the edges. It's not a terrible movie, but of the original 3, it is definitely the least.
Yeah,
it's one of the ones
also
the
only Scream movie where the villain's motivations make the least amount of sense.
Yeah, let's talk about this in free for all. We'll have plenty of time to talk about this. Wyland says first 2 seasons of Scream TV shows had nothing to do with the movies. That is true. I
I watched the first season of the Scream TV show, but it was so bad because the Scream TV show completely missed the point of Scream. Like Mug was just saying, like the first 3 movies specifically were meant to be like satires of horror movies and like turning horror movies on their head, where the Scream TV show, at least the first season, was so by the book horror.
Yeah, and I agree with that. If
Well,
you
I
want,
guess I haven't
hold
seen
on.
it, but my question would be like, did it do a decent job of it at least?
No,
No,
no, it was
No. Okay.
awful.
I mean,
The
that's
it
like
was it
'cause
was bad.
that would be the redeeming factor for me. It's like, well, it's not really Scream, but it is decent horror, But
no,
if it's not,
no, no, it's not even decent horror,
I don't
dude.
know about the second season because I never watched it because the first season was so bad. But
It was
We
more
call
of
it
the
scream
same.
and poop
Yeah,
instead.
hang on.
saying the third season they're gonna bring back Ghostface, which the whole mask thing wasn't really what bothered me. It was just like they did all like the horror tropes, which is what Scream was against in the first place. The
Yeah.
Scream franchise was trying to turn horror tropes on their ears, where in the Scream TV show, they're just like, yeah, we're going to go with every trope we can think of.
You know what? Scream the TV series was probably one of the. Hold on, Eric.
We've actually got a rat down a rat hole though.
All
But
right, let's move
Yeah,
on.
you're right. We got to get the news done. And Wyland says, I like the TV show. Shrug.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I didn't hate the TV show. Like it had its moments,
didn't
but for
like
the most
it.
part,
No,
for the most part, there was just so much dumb stuff and
No.
like too many like
yeah.
you go over there, you guys go look in there,
No,
we'll go look over here. Like
If I wanted a show about teen angst that was actually pretty good, I would watch Teen Wolf, not Scream. I got through the first season barely, and it's one of the few horror series that I just could not watch. I don't know. I didn't watch the second season. Maybe the second season was better. If Wyland tells me I should give it a try, I'll give it a try. But anyways, we need to move on.
It's all on Wyland over we see the second season Scream or not. It's all on you, Wyland.
Yeah. So anyways, this Dragon Ball Fighter Z, they're gonna have an edition that's $94.99, which is just a download of the game. A Fighter Z pass, 8 new characters, including their respective stamps, set of alternative colors, and lobby avatars. Yippity doo! And then there's an Ultimate Edition, which includes the same thing plus anime music pack, 11 songs from the anime, and a commentator voice pack.
See,
wait, which one?
I want the Falconer tracks. I know Eric doesn't like them, but I do.
$109 goddamn dollars.
I'm pretty sure it's just the Kai tracks.
Yeah, I know.
Fuck that! And then they even have a physical collector's edition, which will be $140. This is what games have come to.
Oh, you want to know the best part of that, Frank?
What's that?
Physical collector's edition does not include the fighter's pass.
Does not include what?
The fighter's pass.
Oh,
Like
that's even better. Let's rape and pillage people at their most vulnerable during Christmas.
I think I'll just either A, get the standard version, or B, wait for the Switch version with all the DLC.
Yeah, yeah, just do that. All right, next story.
I mean, like, yeah, the game looks like a lot of fun, but
Yeah.
Next,
I definitely want to play it.
next story, Breakman.
No, we were talking about Dragon Ball, damn it. Oh, anyway. Come to us live from Gamatsu. Toho Skyrina.
Toho.
Not Yoo-hoo. Toho. Okay, Toho. Area Zero will release a Switch version of Toho Skyrina Gensokyo Kusen Haimi Matsuri Climax. I got Climax right.
I get Climax right every time.
only by yourself.
How dare you? Hey,
Got lots of
ask
practice.
Bridget.
The 3D
Bridget
high
about that.
tension spell battle action game. What? It's called the 3D. This is in quotes. The 3D high tension spell battle action game, which will be released for PlayStation 4 in Japan on May 2016. Which was released, not released.
Well, the original Tohos were bullet hell shooters, so this one's probably a fighter, kind of like the last two Bullet Belay and Kabuto 5.
Yeah,
but hopefully this one plays better than Kabuto 5 because Kabuto 5 sucks.
That's exactly.
I've got to write a review on it on how much it sucks.
That's exactly what I want to do to get into a series. Is first play a bullet hell and then go right into a fighting game. That makes
it's a bullet hell series.
Oh, okay.
And then this is a spin-off.
That'd be an interesting game. I'd give it a try.
How dare you?
The spin-off probably has bullet hell mechanics though, because like the idea is like for these types of games, they're versus games that where you basically shoot each other with bullets, and then wear them down, and then you draw them closer, and then you could do melee attacks.
Freak is exiled again. I think he's working on a record today. All right, next story.
One says the Halloween special, going back to the Screen TV show. The Halloween special from last year was meh pick.
Yeah. All right, next story.
I like that definition. Meh
Next
pick.
story, Mug.
All right. Coming to us vaguely animated from Gematsu.com. Root developer
Supposed to say undead.
No, sorry. Root double developer register to make Switch titles. I guess.
Yeah.
Good job.
Fucking dog.
That's awesome.
Like the dog nudges the door open to look at me and then starts barking.
Yeah. He's expecting me. She was expecting me.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, the Register, the visual novel studio behind the Root Double series and the Nipponichi software to produce Exile Election, 2016 again, will develop titles for Switch, it announced on Twitter. The limited company Register will develop for Nintendo Switch. We are starting work on the development of existing titles as well as original titles. Please look forward to the announcement of more information. This is non-news. Register's current lineup of upcoming news consists of birthday song Ai o Tau Shinigami, means the reaper that sings love. Another record, and Starry Sky Winter Stories for PS Vita. Above, never mind. Yeah. So this is
a non-story, man. It's a story about
Moria. I have a question. Does Frank have a jar of peanut butter by his desk?
How dare you?
Calls the dog.
He does have a jar of peanut butter in his room.
Uh-huh.
How dare you? How dare you?
It's just sitting there, dude. It's right in plain sight.
I know, like we're not saying anything. We're just pointing out a fact.
Oh,
that's all.
Let's move on.
You have a
this
jar
of
peanut butter
goddamn
suspiciously placed next to your bed, which is just weird.
This goddamn show is a train wreck today. Let's move on to the next story. Breakman.
Coming to us live from Yomatsu. Full Metal Panic. Because Panic has an exclamation point in the middle of the fucking name of the game.
Full Metal Panic!
Yeah, Full Metal Panic! Fight who dares win. Who dares wins.
Which is a mercenary quote. Not mercenaries. Marines.
This might be the most absurd title yet this year.
Yeah.
Full Metal Panic! Fight who dares wins. A strategy RPG developed by Super Robot Wars developer BB Studio. Let me give you a little synopsis here.
Yeah.
Is the first standalone console game in the monumental Full Metal Panic series in which sci-fi action is depicted on an overwhelming scale for the fierce battle between Mithril, the world's strongest and armed force, and Amalgam, which pulls the strings behind the curtains, and the armed slave humanoid weapons. The presence of the battlefield will be expressed in the form of a strategy RPG. Armed slave?
Yeah, that doesn't sound like women want to play this game at all. Arm slave, Jesus.
That's just, I don't know. They need
a woman, really.
All right, let's move on to.
We will have none of your kink shaming on this show, sir.
All right, last story, Eric.
Well, hold on. Freak wants to know real quick. Does that jar of peanut butter have a penis-shaped hole in it?
Only in his cupboard. That's what I put in.
It is suspiciously. It doesn't look like any utensils have been used. It looks more like fingers or maybe a dog tongue. I'm just speculating.
Is there a mushroom imprint in there?
There's more than one more story.
It's a tiny mushroom, but is it there?
What do you mean? It's the Inazuma, and that's it, man.
There's several more stories from what I see.
I added a couple before the show started.
Eric, don't do that.
1, 2, 3, 4 or more after the 5. There's 5 including this one.
No, we're doing one more story, Eric. Those can wait.
Oh.
No, we're doing one more story.
Yeah, okay, fine. I'll just do them quickly. There's this game called Persona 5, and now it's getting an Ultimate Edition, which is basically all the DLC, and it's hell of expensive.
All right. Wow.
And Inazuma 11 Aries is the next Inazuma game. No release date for the US, but it's coming for the PS4 and Switch and smartphones.
All right.
In summer of 2018. And I'm not ever actually looking at the articles. I'm looking at it based on what the link says.
Okay.
But there's also a game from Square Enix called Server of Thrones. It's a car battle game, so fuck that game.
Okay. What else?
And Harvest Moon: Light of Hope for PC has been dated November 14th.
What November 1st
And
for...
you should avoid that game because it looks like ass.
Yeah, and let's avoid. Well, maybe not avoid.
Not a nice
The only one I'll actually read that
Fat
Rick would
wrinkly
be interested in would be Final Fantasy Dimensions 2 as a release date.
Oh God. Okay, let's do it. Go ahead, Eric.
Final Fantasy Dimensions, or no, as it's known in Japan, Legends 2, because they can't use Legends here because they already did that.
Yeah.
Oops.
And,
But,
So this isn't like a remake of the Saga games on the Game
No.
Boy.
This
What
is
the heck? Okay,
Secrets
I'm
of Dimensions.
completely lost then.
Holy cow! I can't exile Freak for his last comment, but I don't even
Anyways,
know.
it's coming out November 1st.
It's a family show, Freak 5.
And looking up prices, it doesn't say what the hell
Yeah.
article. You couldn't get that info from Square.
Of course not. All right.
Oh well, it's
there
probably
you go.
$20 like the first game was.
All
Well,
right.
since it's I'd imagine it's in the store as like a preview, like download or pre-order. Let me see. I'll look it up while you
Download
answer.
free,
Alright.
pay for the rest.
Okay, well, Breakman is doing that. We have no homie discounts.
I wonder if it's gonna be episodic like the first.
All right. Let's see. All right. Breakman, any Twitter questions
Rick, man,
this
you
week?
need to buy that so you can
Eric!
review it.
Ah!
God,
Breakman.
You made him.
you all right?
You turned Frank into a duck.
Jesus.
Eric?
I can't get a word in edgewise, man. It's weird. All right. It must be Halloween. All right.
Frank is now the penguin.
All right. Any Twitter questions or
No,
comments?
there's actually nothing in Twitter.
All
Let's
right,
see.
nothing there. What have you been playing? Let's start with Mug.
Really, the only thing I've been playing has been South Park: The Fractured But Whole, and I'm not liking it as much as I thought I would.
Oh, wow. Is there major... I don't want you to spoil because we all want
I'm not going to spoil anything. It's like there's no major problems with it. It's just it plays things incredibly safe. It's,
okay.
Really, it's if you like Stick of Truth, here's more Stick of Truth. Like the combat is, it's they've changed things up, a little bit, but it's not. It's like it's perfectly functional, but it doesn't feel essential. It's just like okay. And if you're really only a fan of like the older South Park seasons, and you don't care much for the newer seasons, you're probably not going to get much out of this game because it's.
I think everybody's kind of evolved with that series. I think we'd be okay with it.
I haven't watched South Park in years.
Yeah.
I mean, I know a lot of people who are just like, yeah, I like the old shows, but they don't like their new format where they do 10 episodes and it's all one long, continuity.
Yeah. Hey, Dungeon Buster just joined us in chat. What's up, Dungeon Buster? Freak says he's been playing a beta test of Fortnite on the PS4 and Friday the 13th. I heard some good things about Friday the 13th.
You have to watch the episode that was a prequel.
What are you talking about?
South Park. I didn't. I haven't watched the.
I've seen the episode, but I haven't played the game.
Yeah. All right.
I doubt you need it to play it. But...
Well, long story short, I mean, it's fun and it is funny and everything, but it's just like, oh, okay, it's just more of the same game, basically.
Get it on sale.
Yeah, and that's kind of my impression. It's like, I paid full price for it. I'm glad I didn't get the season pass. And so I was just like, I would have been just fine getting this game later.
Yeah, Dungeon Buster says he doesn't watch South Park, but he got the humor. So there you go.
And I'm gonna get it at some point. Like I just, I have no reason to run out and get a game just because this is the day it releases. Like it's still gonna be around in 2 months, 3 months, a year, whatever. The same game is still gonna be there.
Looks like Freak is having a good time with Friday the 13th. We'll be talking a little more about that game a little bit later. All right, that it, Mug, for your playing session?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I did play a teeny tiny bit of Guilty Gear Xrd Revelator.
Yeah.
It's a fun game, but it's like I don't know that I could. I like and I respect Guilty Gear as a franchise, but it's not. I don't think it's a series I could ever seriously get into, just because the combat system is so nuanced.
Yeah.
It just like there's a very like the skill floor is very high. Like you have to be pretty good at the game.
In other words, you should, in your case, Mug, you should avoid that game at all costs. That's what you're saying. All right.
Did you play Revelator or Revelator 2?
No, there's Sign, Revelator, and Rev 2. But it's just
Rev 2 is basically just Revelator, but with extra stuff.
Is Soul Bad Guy still in it?
Oh yeah, he's still the main guy.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right.
It's not like BlazBlue where they ended wrong in the story.
Yeah.
What's funny is it's actually, and I was like, when my friend Chris said this, I was like, really? Why do you say that? Like, that's because that's how it's written. It's like, but it's BlazBlue. The Z is silent.
Oh.
It's supposed to be BlazBlue.
Yeah.
A silent Z?
All right.
Yeah, it's like Buru.
Okay.
How it's written out in Japanese.
What school did they go to? Because I don't remember a silent Z.
I'm like, I've taken a few silent P's in my life, but
Well then.
Almost every P is silent with you because you sit down, Mug. So there's that. All right, let's move on here. I played a little bit of Marvel Puzzle Quest, of course, and Stranger Things. They came out with a new character, which I'm not going to spoil for anybody that wants to play that game. I haven't even gotten that character yet, though, so it's cool.
He's been studiously ignoring Salt and Sanctuary and Metroid Samus.
I totally am. I've been on the Stranger Things, and I've actually been doing some cool things with Marvel Puzzle Quest, but it's kind of a boring game to explain to people like what I'm doing, so I don't even bother. All right, next story, or I'm sorry, next person, Eric.
What? Next story?
No. Brakeman.
What have I been playing?
Broken the show.
I just derailed the thing.
I was in the middle of typing something.
Yeah.
But I've been playing a little bit more Color X Malice, although I put that down quickly this week to play So I played a little bit of
eating or something. There's some scraping or somebody's scraping something.
That's not me, but whatever. But outside of that, I played a little of Knights of Azure 2 for the Switch. And it's not as good as the first game. The first game was fun and interesting, but flawed. But they managed to make the game somehow worse. And apparently that's across the board and not just the version I'm playing. Although some of those problems are probably more pronounced on my platform.
Right.
But the review of that will be ready, like probably next week. And I played a little bit of Zwei, the Ilvard Insurrection, and did the first dungeon of that game. And it's one of those games where it's probably the first game that XC has produced that's actually made me feel a bit uncomfortable because the very beginning of the game, the two main characters are in a restaurant eating, and they have a Chinese waitress, and she's talking in the stereotypical Chinese English. And I was like, why did you feel that it was a good idea to do this?
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to see the original Japanese, because odds are, if it's done anything like if they had a written with broken Japanese, if you look at like the old Ranma 1/2, like Shampoo, like she was written as she spoke in like broken Japanese, and so
yeah,
that's why they carried it over.
That's when you go, that's not good. Let's change this.
Well, it also depends on who it is, like, because if
It's like Tom Schultz fight for this, because I suspect he did, and I suspect he's also a racist.
No, he's not. The thing is, his big thing is he doesn't like changing shit. And what he sees as unnecessarily. Like, authorial intent is his bugbear.
So you mean like he doesn't like change, like gender swapping a character or something like that?
Yeah, it's like he doesn't. When it comes to specifically when it comes to localizing games. I mean, and Tom and I have talked to these.
I'm anti-censorship, but I'm also anti. Let's not do these terrible things.
Well, that's the thing. It's like he he tends to regard he tends to regard editing a game for content, as like that falling a little too squarely in the censorship category. And I'm like, and it's and I'm not gonna make his point for him. He's not here to speak for himself. But that's that is what I've gathered from him, and he can put forth he's a bright guy. He can put forth a much more nuanced argument in favor of his position than I could on his behalf. But I'm like, that's where he stands, and he has some and like when we've talked about it, it's like there's stuff that he'll say like I'm not behind you. It's like I don't think you're thinking far enough ahead with this, but I agree with you on this. But yeah, that's basically like kind of his attitude, and that very well may be. I don't know if he was involved in this particular game though.
All right. Anything
I
else?
do know that he had that problem with like it was Strip 2, which caused him to be delisted from the credits of every game he works on from now on.
Yeah.
Well, no, he asked to have his name removed.
Yeah, but still.
Xseed's policy is that if you decide not to have your name listed on the game you work on, then you won't have your name listed on anything going forward.
Which is weird, but
that is a strange policy.
Yeah.
But I also played a little bit of Super Mario Odyssey, although I didn't get to play as much as I wanted to because I had to work today.
Is it as like what's funny is like I'm not a Mario fan. Never have been. I've never actually beaten a Mario game.
Oh,
but
God.
I will say that like the stuff I've seen of Odyssey has kind of piqued my curiosity.
Have you
really
played
wanna play
Banjo-Kazooie, and did you like it?
I've never played Banjo-Kazooie.
It's kind of like that though, where the world's kind of open, and every time you collect the moon, instead of exiting the level, which is stupid, you just keep playing.
My impression of everything I've seen of Mario is the word fun.
Yeah.
It just looks
Also,
fun.
unlike Banjo-Kazooie, it doesn't have the weird
whatever
when the
that
characters
was.
talk. I mean, they'll still do stupid Simlish gibberish talk, but it's not going to accompany every single line of text.
All right.
So Mario
I also played a little bit of Creeping Terror.
What is that?
Is a horror adventure game,
Ooh.
which you might be interested in.
Yeah.
Creeping Terror is what happens every time Eric eats pizza.
Eats pizza.
So it's not a romantic game? Oh.
No.
All right.
I'll play Mario Odyssey eventually too.
Yeah,
Me too.
that's gonna be one of
Me
the
too,
first
eventually.
games I play on that system, man. That
If
system,
I get a Switch, that'd be the first game I'd buy.
that system is getting more and more attractive to me because I'm a Nintendo fan, but wow, that game looks incredible. Even the Zelda game looks incredible. There's all kinds of shit that you can play on there. When Metroid comes out on that system, it's a must get for me. All right, next, Breakman. What have you been playing?
Nothing new. Final
Fallout
Fantasy,
4,
Record Keeper, and Fallout 4, and Halo 5. By the way, it's Halo 5's second anniversary.
Oh, wow.
This weekend.
So are you playing? I'm assuming you're playing multiplayer.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds like
There's a bunch of like single player achievements and stuff I could do, and I don't think I think there's a bunch.
You just cut
We
out.
just lose you.
Yeah.
No, my
Oh.
mouse fucked up. Anyway, there's a bunch of single player stuff I could still go back and do and play some maybe like multiplayer for the story and stuff. But I've never really been interested in that. After I beat it, it's like, okay, I got what I wanted now. I just want to play multiplayer.
Yeah.
I just want to kill people.
Yeah, that's the way to do
Lots
it.
of people.
Like I said, I played Stranger Things and Marvel Puzzle Quest. I have a really quick review of the first episode of Stranger Things season 2.
Spoiler!
I'm not gonna spoil. All I'm gonna say, because I won't do a full review until I watch
I
all
can't
of
wait
it.
How many episodes is it?
It's 9 this season, so that's really cool.
I think it was only 8 last year, right?
Yeah, it was only 8.
Was it? I thought it was 10.
No, 8. I was really surprised that they didn't go to a full 13, like a full season. But
Well, to be fair, the episodes are like 45 minutes long, so that's like 2 episodes.
I'll take it. It's really good.
And I gotta say that from what I've seen, there are a lot of shows that 13 is too many. So if they thought 13 was too many,
No,
if
I
they got to choose and they decide like
yeah,
this is the
no,
best way to
I
write
don't
the
think
story, then good.
I don't think they got to choose. It was for budgetary reasons, but honestly, they could have.
Voltron's only
Hold
6.
on,
The
dude.
last
Let
one was
me. Can I
6 too.
finish a
Oh,
point? I
that was
haven't finished
annoying.
one sentence this show.
Whatever, Frank.
uh, it's Stranger Things. This I don't think that would hold merit for this show because there's so much territory that they can cover. So I think 13 would have been fine for this show. But I understand what you're saying, Breakman. There are certain shows that you're like, why did you do 13? You know, it's weird. But this show,
Yeah, and then there are those episodes where they don't know what to do, so they
yeah,
kind
they
of
don't.
pad content,
Yeah, they
And
don't do
my
anything.
best example is the show 24.
Yeah, yeah.
A
Oh
lot of
yeah,
times they didn't
Oh,
have enough content for 24 episodes,
yeah.
so they'd
I
have
only
things
watched the
like.
first 2 seasons. But, yeah.
I liked
Well, if you
24
watch the
quite a
first
bit.
season, like the cougar and the woods type
Yeah,
scenario and stuff like
yeah.
that. Like, oh my god, like really,
They had to
what does
pass.
this have to do with anything?
It's really hard to make a show. I give the producers
Can
of
I say I hate 24 because that propelled
I give
Sutherland, and
producers
Sutherland's now getting a
credit.
bunch of roles that he doesn't deserve, like playing
Eric,
a snake in
you're
fucking Metal
talking
Gear
right
Solid.
over me, dude. Like I was just in the middle of a point and you talked right over me, man. I need to get my point out, otherwise, ether.
Mm.
All right, let's move on. Let's see. Let's move on to our stinkos. Let's start with Breakman.
My stinko goes to the death of the actor who portrayed Benson.
Robert Guillaume.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. That's sad, dude. Oh, you know what? I forgot your review, Mug. 1922. I just saw that. We'll do that after the stinkos. All right. I'll get back to you.
All
I
right.
promise.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks, Breakman. I heard about that. He was in a lot of movies
Yeah,
and
see,
shows.
he was a lot in a lot of stuff, but it usually is like bit part and stuff.
Yeah,
You would,
character
He's-
actor.
he's one of those
the
guys
most-
you'd recognize immediately, but you probably wouldn't
Well-
know his name.
Yeah.
Well, if you heard his voice, your immediate thought would be Rafiki from Lion King.
Yeah, Rafiki from Lion King. He
Rafiki, he knows the way.
He
Yeah.
was also in The Love Boat, if anybody remembers Love Boat, which they
No.
probably don't. But I do.
The Love
I
Boat.
remember the show, I just don't remember watching it.
Oh, God. I used to watch that show all the
Making
time.
another run.
Oh, God. That's awful, Mug. Don't ever sing again, man, please.
The Love Boat.
All right.
Something exciting for
Oh, God.
everyone. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Anything else, Breakman? Nothing? I don't.
No, that's it.
All right. Let's go with Mug, your stinko.
I don't really have a stinko per se.
Okay.
You know,
All right.
I'm not feeling as well as I would like to, so my throat is sore. But there's my stinko.
All right.
That's-
Let's go with Eric, your stinko of the
I
week.
don't have any this week.
No, none this
Other than
week.
having to work on Saturday.
All right. That
Although I guess it's not that much of a stinker because I do have a car I need to pay off.
yeah. All right. My stinko is that, and
This one's old. It's from last week.
okay. You done,
Eric?
Yeah.
All right. All right. My stinko this week goes to. This is gonna be kind of a weird one. It's Trump again. He's an all-time like Hall of Shame stinko. But this time he gets it for declaring a state of emergency for the opioid crisis. Now, there's been news, which ties into my sweeto, so I'll do kind of both at the same time, that there's going to be an indictment on Monday with somebody for the Trump campaign. I'm almost certain it's Paul Manafort, but I hope, beyond hope, it's Michael Flynn. Those are the two names that have been coming up quite a bit. But the reason that I'm giving Trump a stinko this week for the state of emergency on the opioid crisis is because it's a clear distraction from what is really, really going on in that chaotic White House. And besides the fact, I think this is going to be used as an excuse to ramp up the Jeff Sessions and his crusade against all kinds of drugs, and including marijuana in the state of Colorado, which is ridiculous because it's fucking legal here. And Jeff Sessions is a piece of shit Keebler elf that if he were to die right now, I'd be like, cool, the world's a better place. So my stinko goes to Trump for trying to distract us from important shit that's going on right now. And so, yeah, my sweeto is also the indictments. I think we're almost at the end of this nightmare, to be honest with you. Sweetos.
Yeah, right. You wish.
I'm hoping.
Look, we got that. All those lawsuits are starting to come back. I don't know what happened in the first place, but all the women accusing him of sexual harassment.
He settled some.
And I know, but he still denies that and everything, and people believe him. I don't know.
Look,
they need to catch him red-handed doing something.
The ultimate. The ultimate thing that I can say on Trump is I want to see that dude in handcuffs, and I hope that day comes. If it does, I don't think there'll be a happier human being on the planet than me, because he's one of the worst things to happen in the United States since, I don't know, Nixon, maybe even, I can't think of, maybe George W. Bush, but golly, man, Trump is just fucking nightmare.
I would say it's the worst thing since Reagan.
Yeah, that too. You can say that. Absolutely, I totally agree. I think we're pushed back 20, 30 years on race relations with Trump. It's just fucking sad. All right.
I just watched the TYT video on the on the opioid state of emergency thing.
Yeah.
That he only did that so he could say he did something about it without actually doing anything, because the budget for it is pitifully ridiculous.
Yeah, he's all about bravado, and he's done nothing, absolutely nothing.
Well, the thing is, we also have to bear in mind, Trump is literally 100% surface. There's no he is an inch wide and a mile wide and an inch deep. That is Trump in a nutshell.
Yeah,
I saw a video of a guy basically describing him as the middle finger of America's right hand.
And Frank, you don't have to. You might not have to worry about him getting impeached, because his supporters, haven't you noticed, have been dropping left and right. He is losing. His hold over anybody.
The only thing Trump has going for right now, Breakman, is his base. He has a very strong.
He does have a base, but he is losing his support, and I'm saying Congress and in the House and stuff like that,
but
which he didn't have much support to begin with.
Look, this is the scenario. This is the scenario I've been warning you guys for a long ass time about the turning point when somebody becomes a dictator. If you look into history, in the history of the world and all the dictators, there's an exact turning point when the country became a dictatorship. I believe right now is a very perilous time. That's why I'm hoping that these indictments kind of speed things up, because there will be a point where Trump will know that he's fucked unless he does something extreme like become a dictator.
He doesn't have that much power, Frank.
No,
he really doesn't.
Look. He doesn't right now, but as soon as he gains control of that military, which I know is kind of a tough thing to do, but if you look at the former General John, what's his name, John Kelly, that guy is just as bad as Trump. All right, he has the same views. He's just a little more reserved than Trump. He's not as brash. He's calculated. And if he can turn somebody like that into his favor that's currently in the military, which there's plenty of people that have the same values as Trump in the military, then we're in for a world of hurt. But until that day happens, I'm hoping that these indictments do something that kind of spur the impeachment process along, and get him the fuck out of there. I don't think there's anybody now, after everything that's happened, that can honestly look me in the eye and tell me that Trump has done anything good. He's done nothing. Even
no, but I still think you're crazy if you think he's going to recruit the military and take over the country.
Hold on, I didn't. You're not paying attention to what I'm saying, Breakman. I don't.
No,
I don't.
I summed it up.
Look, I don't think he's going to, but I think the very real possibility of that happening is there. And if we sleep on it, like we slept on the election, then guess what happens? We get hit in the face with something that hurts really bad.
Whoa! We didn't sleep on the election. The American public said no.
No. We've set up this system, this broken system of the electoral college, and where one person's vote counts.
Hold on. Frank, I don't like letting you talk.
We've got this. How
The
dare
truth
you?
comes out.
I'm sorry.
No.
I'll stop interrupting.
No, that's fine. I'm just saying, like we've slept on the election, and even though there was a majority of people in this country that said no to Trump, the electoral college gave us a big fucking finger. And you know what? It shouldn't have even come to that. We should have had Bernie winning the primaries, which the DNC fucked that whole thing up, and now they got rid of all the progressives. I don't know if you saw, but the DNC just got rid of all the progressives in positions of power. So now
they're moving heavily back towards like the Clinton.
No, they're moving.
Type things.
They're moving towards what Republicans used to be. So the Democrats are
which
now,
is pretty much what the Clintons are.
Hold
like
on. Yeah,
big
right.
business
You're right. But look, what we have now is the Republicans, which are basically like they're beyond conservative. They're, if they could go back to segregation and slavery, I guarantee they would do it. Now,
there's some of them I think so. Yeah, I wouldn't say that about everybody, but there are definitely some I think so.
You have the Democrats who now are the new Republicans who want to screw you financially and take money away from you and make you poor and all that shit. And then you have this little fringe group that's really loud right now, which more and more people should gravitate to. I'm talking about the people that back Bernie Sanders. I'm not saying he's the ultimate savior, but there is no chance in 2020.
Independent, and he's something different from what we usually get.
There is no chance whatsoever that we are going to get in 2020 a Sanders Warren ticket. I'm calling it right here, right now. The DNC is going to screw him again like they did before. And
well, this time, if he runs again, he won't run as a Democrat.
I hope not. I hope he runs as an independent and says,
he switched back to independent like immediately after election. But the problem was because of like the stranglehold the Republicans and the Democrats have, it makes it really hard for a third party.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's a shame what's going on.
It's a little con game they've played on us over the years.
And by the way, I think it was either the Senate or the House just passed their blueprint for screwing lots of Americans out of a lot of money.
My God, yeah. I forget what it's called, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
No,
that should infuriate all of us.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you know what? If you make about $50,000 a year, most likely your tax rate's going to go up 380%. So if you were used to getting a good big fat check at the end of the year, especially if you had kids, you can kiss that shit goodbye. And by the way, Medicare and Medicaid are probably going to take a good fucking hit from this quote tax cut that's basically a handout to millionaires and billionaires. People making, I think...
Everything I've seen on the tax proposal so far is mostly like cuts for the upper class and for the high middle class. There's one good thing in all of it, and that's the part about lowering the corporate tax rates.
Nope.
But other than that, everything else
that's not good. That's not good.
Actually, that is good.
Absolutely
you know why?
not.
Because a lot of businesses moved overseas because of...
Absolutely not. It is not good.
Corporate tax rate is one of the highest in the world.
No, that's actually misinformation.
Actually, it is, Frank.
Nope, you're wrong.
Yes,
you're 100% wrong. I'll tell you why.
I am 100% not wrong.
No, you're wrong.
Hang on a second.
Hold on.
Whoa.
Hold on.
Hang on.
You are absolutely wrong, and I'll tell you why.
Okay, dude.
Hold on. Can I? All right.
Let me just. Okay, I've been quiet the last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. Both of you are sitting here going like, no, you're wrong. No, you're wrong.
No.
Like,
Okay, look.
Do either of you have a source, like an actual source?
Yeah. Yep, I do.
Just back up your statement. That's all
Well,
I'm asking.
let
Both of
me
you.
before I look up the source. All right, Breakman on the surface is right. Right, when people talk about corporate tax rates. All right. By the way, corporations are not people. So let's just get that out there right now. Corporations are not people. They don't deserve the same treatment legally in any form to a human being. I will never buy the argument that a corporation is a human being and we should treat them the same as a person. There's no justification
Yeah,
for it
nobody's saying that.
whatsoever, right? So
It's not
the
what corporate
corporate rate,
Brotherhood means.
hold on. The corporate rate the corporate tax rate in this country on the surface is 40%, which sounds really high, right? You know what?
It's
What?
actually
Hold
not
on.
that high, but
Hold
okay,
on.
go ahead.
Hold on.
See again, Frank, you're not right.
Hold
But you're saying
on.
you're right. It's only 38.92.
Okay. 38.92, basically 40%, like I said. Here's the real breakdown. It's about 15% when you count all the fucking loopholes that corporations get away with, right? So corporations are nowhere near the top of what people pay in the world as far as corporations go. It's about 15 to 17% depending on which numbers you look at, all right? The surface number is 40, but when you count in all the loopholes and all the deductions that corporations always take advantage of because they got the lawyers to do it, unlike us, I don't have the money to get a lawyer to do my taxes. They pay about 15 to 17%. So if you think that's a good thing, then more power to you. Go ahead and support people that think that, and they'll make more money, and we'll get more poor. So
Actually,
that
I think it's a good idea to not charge our corporations a lot of tax dollars because that's a major reason why so many companies went overseas.
yeah, no, that's not.
Because, well, listen,
No, it's not.
The
You know,
average tax rate, I waited for you, Frank, my
I know.
turn.
Hold on.
The average across 188 countries, the tax jurisdiction is the average at 22.5%. As you said, ours is almost 40.
No, but it's
That
not.
is one of the major reasons that corporations go across the
No,
world.
no. You know the
Especially
no,
countries like China, where their tax rate is. Let me see if I can find it on here.
no, no.
Is it on here?
Look, let me tell you something, Breakman. This is why Republicans and Democrats always get you to go along with this bullshit, right? We always think that the corporations are poor corporations. They're paying 40% taxes. They ain't paying 40%
I'm
taxes.
not saying poor corporations, Frank.
Hold
I'm
on.
saying that they're going to other countries for cheaper labor and
You didn't let
cheaper
me
tax
finish.
rates.
You didn't let me
And
finish.
the offsets, when you're saying corporations paying 17%, that's true. Those were deals offered to these corporations to get them to stay in America
You know what,
instead of
Breakman?
moving away.
Here. Let me tell you the number
Frank,
one.
you
Hold
keep
on.
complaining about not finding a
Let me.
job.
Let
I'm
me.
just telling you, job.
Let.
Frank, I shut
Let.
up for you. You won't shut up for me.
All right. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go
No,
ahead.
I got you shut up. Okay, what you want to say?
I tried to make a really good point about the reason why corporations leave the United States. Do you want to know that reason, Breakman, or do you want to go ahead and finish your point? I've been trying
No,
to
go ahead.
get
I
this
said
out.
what my point was.
Okay. The point I'm trying to make to you, Breakman, the reason countries or companies leave this country is so they can get cheaper labor. It's about the
I said cheaper
bottom
labor. That's one of
line.
the reasons. One of
Yeah,
the main reasons.
that's
I
the
said
only reason.
the
That is the
two main
only reason.
reasons. No, it's not, Frank. There is never just one reason for anything.
Yeah, well,
The world,
that
nothing is black and white. To
99%
even
of the
consider
time,
black and white is no, Frank.
I,
It's
I
not
can name
99%.
you a dozen companies off the top of my head that have outsourced jobs out of this country, Breakman.
Yeah, but
I can name
speaking
them.
about, I mean, you're talking
Tech
about
companies,
outsourcing jobs.
name
Yeah,
it.
because it's cheaper. Like
Yes.
we said, but where are your sources at?
Oh my
I'm
God.
giving you the corporate tax rate from the taxfoundation.org.
All right.
This is an official accredited thing. The number one highest tax rate in the world is United Arab Emirates. Number two is Puerto Rico, which is our territory. Which is third is America. So that means every other country in the world, countries like China, which people have been complaining for years, are stealing our business because they have cheap tax rates and cheap labor rates.
No. Well, the tax rate Look, here's from NPR. Okay, this is a fact check. Let's see. Like you said, 38.9%. I'm gonna find the actual tax rate in just a second.
Freak apparently says I am black and white, so I guess you're biracial, Freak.
Here we go. Here we go.
What you mean?
Here's the actual. If you want to know the actual tax rate, it's 18.6%. Breakman. When you factor in deductions and other expenditures,
Yeah,
it's
like I
18.
said, those were all made to keep these
So-
corporations. All companies make deals to stay.
So
But
18%.
they couldn't. The companies that moved couldn't get the deals they wanted. But there are companies on record saying they would come back to the United States if we lower the tax rate.
No, well, but that's bullshit, man. That's just rhetoric, dude. Of course they're gonna say what people want to hear. But look, if you factor in that tax rate, 18.6,
Fair enough.
we're near the bottom of charging corporations taxes. We're near the bottom.
That's if they get the deals.
They always get the deals, Breakman.
No,
They
no, they don't
always
always
get
they want.
the
That's
deals.
why some of them move.
Why do you think Walmart makes so much fucking money? It's because the maximum amount of tax deductions goes to the richest fucking corporations.
It's a
man.
funny thing you say. You bring up Walmart because I actually worked for the credit company for Sam's Club.
Yeah.
And that company went overseas.
Yeah. Walmart's one of the biggest perpetrators. They fucking suck.
But they brought it back when they were given cheaper rates by the government of America.
Yeah, and
which
now
is how I got a job.
And now everybody wants to give them another tax break on top of what
Frank,
they're
so I showed you a
already
real world example of my point and you just blow it off?
No, I didn't blow it off, dude. I'm telling you.
Then you tried to change the subject.
No,
You
the
tried to change it.
effective. Look,
I'm saying like Walmart brought it back because customers were not happy with the complaints
right.
from
Right.
the other country. People were obviously they didn't speak English, but the
Right.
main reason
Right.
was because the government gave them a tax break.
Yeah. So why don't we just not charge corporations taxes at all? Fuck it. Then we can have every corporation in the
Frank.
world come to the United States. We charge them 18%. All right.
And when you talk about like us giving deals, you realize these other countries with their low tax rate also give deals.
Of
So when
course.
you're
I'm
seeing
not
like
talking
a
about
22%
any other
tax rate
country.
in another country,
You
they're not paying 22%. They're getting a deal.
No,
That's the way it is.
their effective tax rates are we are nowhere near the top when it comes to corporation taxes, man. And if you think that's probably the biggest problem in this country right now is people think that corporations are getting this big old tax burden, and that's why they're sending out all their outsourcing to other countries is because we charge so
Frank,
much tax.
I'm saying it's a multitude of reasons,
Yeah,
and this
but
is one of the
but this
reasons.
is-
You're saying it's all labor, and that's just not true.
No, I didn't say that. I said
Yeah, you did.
I said they
You 100% said it was all labor.
I-
Even Dungeon Buster commented on that.
look. They're corporations.
I'm sorry, Dungeon Buster. I didn't mean to bring you into this, but really,
18
Frank, we need to. I'll let
18
you say what you want to say, and then we need to wrap up because we need to talk Halloween.
The actual rate is 18%, and if you think that's too much for a corporation to pay, I don't know what to tell you because we pay what almost 30% on taxes depending on the tax bracket, so we're paying way more taxes than corporations. That to me, that doesn't settle right. 18% is their effective tax rate. 18.6%, and that's too much for corporations. I don't get it. I don't understand it, but whatever. Let's move on. I think we did all the Sweetos. Did we not?
We were on
Candy.
Stinkos, I thought.
I can tell you what my sweeto is. Candy.
Candy. Yeah,
Candy.
of course. Nobody has anything listed there. Mug, do you have?
I've actually got a couple of Sweetos.
Go for it, Break.
Well, I was gonna do the that review of 1922, but then you guys went off on the politics thing.
Go ahead and do it now.
Go ahead.
So, all right. Well, if you don't know, 1922 it's a movie that Netflix produced. It's now up on their service. It's based on a novella by Stephen King in the compilation Full Dark, No Stars, and it's true to the title. It is one of his darkest stories, probably like possibly even darker than Pet Cemetery. Um, about it like takes place in 1922 about a man who has like this very rocky relationship with his wife, and she comes into an inheritance, and she like they just they disagree with how they want it to how they want to handle this, and he winds up and he murders her, like he plots to murder her. The movie itself is a little odd. It's it's entertaining and it's decently well written, but the cinematography is not great. A lot of it's very workmanlike, and the editing is weird. Like it doesn't really have like a 3 act structure like you typically see in a movie.
Mm-hmm.
So like it has a kind of it doesn't the movie doesn't flow very well, but the performances are good. But the Thomas Jane plays the main character Wilfred, and he is, I mean, it's fucking amazing. Like, he is 100% the reason to watch this movie.
Is that the Loki guy?
What now?
Is that the guy that plays Loki?
No.
No, that's Tom Hiddleston. Thomas Jane played he played the Punisher in that one movie. He was also the lead.
I love that movie,
Yeah.
but that was not a good version of the Punisher. Like that was
but
not
he was
Punisher.
also.
You mean the
he was
Punisher or
also-
Punisher Warzone?
The
No,
Punisher,
just the
not
Punisher.
Warzone.
Where what's his name was the villain? Damn it.
Dolph
Uh,
Lundgren.
But he was also the lead in The Mist.
Yeah.
The guy,
Um,
the dancer guy with Saturday Night Fever.
John
Shit, what's his name?
Travolta.
John Travolta.
John Travolta. Thank you. Yeah, when he was.
But anyway, but as for 1922, he plays this old hand, like the old timey, like farmer, like out in like he comes off as kind of southern, but it's actually like out in the what they call the middle, like in Idaho or something, Nebraska. But it's like the entire thing, he disappears into the role like in ways that you typically don't see outside of like Leonardo DiCaprio or Gary Oldman or Daniel Day-Lewis. Like it is an absolutely stunning performance. Like the entire time he just goes he's like a walking human embodiment of a coiled spring.
Yeah,
he looks like he's about to explode at every single second. It's just like,
I almost watched that. I almost watched it.
You should. I would. The thing is, like I said, it's not a great movie, but it is elevated by an absolutely fantastic performance.
Yeah, I've always been
well worth checking
pretty
out.
big fan of Thomas Jane, so yeah, I'm
It was like I was like the thing was I was just like he always struck me as like he's a competent actor and everything, but I was just like oh wow, he's actually like got a ton of talent that no one else has really tapped into before.
Yeah. No, he's definitely very talented. So what are you giving it on the scale of 10?
I would say I would give it a good, and I'll give it an 8.
An 8?
And if not for Thomas Jane, I would probably give it maybe a 6.5.
Okay, that's cool, man. I definitely have to check it out. I like Thomas Jane. I think he's a good actor.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, if you like it, you will love. If you like him, you will love him in this because he is fucking amazing.
I
literally kept forgetting that it was Thomas Jane.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on. Breakman, you have some Sweetos. Let's do our Sweetos now.
Okay. My Sweetos go to two things. I don't know if these will work out. I mean, basically these are two pledge, donate type things. One is called pledge, easy for me to say, at pledge.org. Yeah, no, pledge.org. But it's a new take on kind of protesting, the white supremacists. In this instance specifically, my college UC is going to basically forced to host what's his name, Richard Spencer.
Oh God, yeah.
So they and their UC is a public school, so they have to. There's no choice in it. But people have been talking about protesting and stuff like that. Well, this organization called the Tri-State Freethinkers came up with an idea that I kind of like. Mm-hmm. Instead of the basic protest, what they're doing is going to, and here let me kind of read it out for you. Oppose hate by making a donation to them. The money that they get is going to go to the NAACP, National Underground, Anti-Defamation League, United Negro College Fund, stuff like that. Like I said, this is specifically because of Richard Spencer. Spencer represents an increasing vocal minority in the country, and it is our responsibility as Americans to oppose this rhetoric at every opportunity. Hate thrives on conflict, and Spencer is seeking this forum to stoke the flames of racial division, which is what I say all the time. Like, these people want press. They want you there yelling at them because it validates them. Like, these people are fucked up.
Yeah.
Instead of and this is where they come up with a neat idea.
Mhm.
Instead of clashing with his supporters, we want to use them to raise money for organizations that oppose his very message. Join us before the event by making a flat donation, blah, blah, blah. For example, if you pledge $1 per attendee and 100 attendees show up, then you pledge amount of $100. See what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
using their numbers as a basis to
Yep.
to donate to other causes.
That's great.
And when you get there, basically they're holding out signs thanking them for coming and thanking them for their support.
Yeah.
Letting them know exactly what they're going to be nice to these people because the money because them being there is going to be supporting like the Anti-Defamation League, the NAACP, stuff that those white supremacists hate.
Yeah. This is a great idea, but this is how I feel that everybody should handle campus talks, lectures. Let them do their lectures, okay? Even if it's Richard Spencer, who I personally think if I saw Richard Spencer in front of me, I probably would beat the fuck out of Richard Spencer, okay? But I'm not a violent person. I'm not saying go do that.
You don't have to be a violent person to want to beat somebody up like him.
Right.
Like he's
yeah.
I think we need to eliminate the idea that we shouldn't labor under the illusion that giving voices to both sides is a fair thing when one side's clearly wrong.
Well, no.
Yeah. That's thing.
Right,
False balance. Hang on, whoa. 4 words. False balance is propaganda.
Yeah.
It really is that simple.
Here's my take on the whole thing. I want people. I like that idea quite a bit, Breakman. But
I do too.
But
like I said, I don't know if it'll actually work, but I think it's a fantastic.
I don't know if you guys have ever seen these lectures on campus. At one time, I was in college, so I saw both sides. One time I was in college and I got handed a brochure that was warning against the Brown Peril. It was a propaganda from the KKK, and somebody handed that to me. So
the Brown Peril. That happens to me every Saturday night after I eat pizza.
I know. Every time I eat Taco Bell, I have the Brown Peril.
Speaking of pizza, I got leftovers in the fridge.
It was a very detailed, disgusting, basically propaganda piece from the KKK saying we should either kill people or deport them. That's basically the gist of it. And this is what I say to anybody who wants to speak at campus. I'm big on free speech. You want to go and speak on campus, then go for it. I don't know if you've ever seen the conservative lectures on campus, but nobody ever shows up. I used to go to all of them because I wanted to know. I wanted to hear what they had to say. And nobody ever shows up to them. Now, if you go to the other the opposite end of the spectrum, like, for instance, Bernie Sanders, he would fill arenas up. Can you imagine? You know how Trump was boasting about the size of his inauguration, and then they came out with those pictures?
He strikes me.
Wasn't it only
Hold on.
Wasn't only 1,000 people or so?
Yeah, it was not a lot of people.
When he does that, it sounds like to me the people who brag about the size of their penis,
Right,
I've got the biggest penis ever.
That's why, I'm all for free speech. So if you want to speak, if you're Richard Spencer and you want to speak at a campus, go for it, because nobody is going to show up because the majority of people don't think like that. The majority of Americans are not fucking racist.
Yeah.
They don't think like that. So the more attention you give them, the more people go to their thing. So if you don't say anything, And like, for instance, who was it? Milo Yiannopoulos or whatever the fuck his name.
Stankopolis.
Yeah.
That's the name officially given him.
Okay, here's the thing.
That's
Milo
that
Yiannopoulos.
pedophile, right?
If you look at the size of crowds that quote crowds that he gets at
Pedophile
his,
slash
hold
alt-right.
on.
Okay.
The crowds of people that he gets, there's maybe 50 people there at best, as opposed to somebody speaking on the other side who gets 2, 3, 400. So it boggles my mind that people have such a problem with these people speaking on campus when we do have free speech, because they are so ineffective. The only time they're effective is when they get picked up in the news cycle. That's the only time. Go ahead.
The thing about the speaking at universities and stuff, it's not a free speech issue.
I know, but that's what
it depends. If it's like for instance, UC is federally funded college. At that point, it is a free speech issue because you're getting money from the government.
Yeah.
So UC has to. There's no choice. If you're a private institute, a privately run college, you can tell them to go fuck himself.
Yeah, I know, but I don't even like that tact. I think
I agree. I'm just saying that's what it is.
I think they should welcome it. If I owned, let's say I owned a university, and somebody like Richard Spencer wanted to come on the campus, go for it. It's free country. You can do what you want to do, because I know that the crowd size is not going to be there. This is from countless lectures that I've been to. I've been to so many lectures in my life. It's unbelievable. You wouldn't think that by looking at me, but I actually have been to quite a few lectures. And
Wouldn't think it to listen to you either.
How dare you? But no, literally nobody shows up to these things. That's what gets me. People get up in arms. Nobody shows up.
On the other hand, there is. I understand one thing that people are concerned about, though. It's like when and I freely can see that we are talking about a minority of people that think in this backwards way. But the problem is giving these people any kind of platform for them to, well, not just to spread their message, but for the people who are closeted with that kind of attitude, when it's like emboldening them in any way is not, it's like it's probably a net negative.
Yeah, no, yeah. I would agree with that, Mug, but the problem is you're not really emboldening them. You're empowering yourself, because you're a shining example of free speech if you're one of these colleges that lets these people do that. But that's the thing; these
people don't care. It's like,
I know they don't care.
Free speech issue. They don't give a shit about it. They just want to be able to say the nasty shit that they want to say without consequence.
They want people to follow them, and a lot of those people will say things like, they're screaming like how we're so oppressed, like the white man is being oppressed.
Oh boy, yeah.
And if there's nobody saying that, there's nobody trying to stop it, like there's no protest or something like that, where's his proof? The people who are listening, they're sitting there like, well, he's saying the white man's oppressed, but we're not being oppressed right now.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, the traditional white male, especially like the white male conservative Christian privilege, has been eroded over the past 50 years, and it's like people aren't happy about that.
Yeah,
and
there's a lot of people not happy about that.
Well, and that's the thing. It's like people are figuring out that
I shouldn't say a lot. I think there are not a lot, but
there's a depressing number of people who do think like Trump does.
Yeah.
Granted, any number is depressing, but it is a depressingly large number of people that think that way. Granted, I mean, there's still a minority. It's still a minority of the country, but it's a large enough. That's Trump's base, and they do. Yeah. It is a sizable enough segment of the population that they have a voice, and right now they're in power.
Yeah. Yep. Dungeon Buster said something pretty interesting here. Let me see if I can find it. He said, I've also eaten Dunkin' Donut minis, the best minis. I realized that I did sound like Trump there, and I almost threw up Freak 5, but that's not the way I meant it. I just was explaining that I've been to a lot of lectures. Also,
I've been to all the lectures. I've been to the best lectures.
yeah, the best lectures.
I got to quite. When you went to like one of those and you were there, and there's like two other white people, did the guy on the stage be like, "There's the oppressor right there"?
Actually, I
See
had
that,
something
see
very
that white
similar.
man? He the devil. You know, that kind of shit.
I've had, not exactly like that, Breakman, but I did have something very similar to that maybe I'll talk about one day on the show. But yeah, that shit does happen. Let's see.
Wow, people are stupid.
Also, I wanted to acknowledge Freak 5. He's going through a rough time, man. Sorry about your job, dude. I meant to get to that when we were doing our Stinkos, but
yeah, that's terrible.
yeah, I want to make mention of that because that really sucks, dude. I hope you land on your feet real soon. It looks like you got at least somewhat of a severance package. I know it doesn't add up to all the years you worked at that company, and that really blows, dude. I feel bad.
No,
So
yeah.
Oh, piece of advice: when you go in for your interviews, don't ask any "would you rather" questions.
yeah, don't do the
Yeah.
would you rather's at all, Freak 5. That will definitely dampen your chances at getting that speaking gig at college campuses around the world. So there you go.
Yes.
Well, and we're talking about donuts in chat, and Dungeon Buster says, asked what you guys think about Krispy Kreme. I do not like Krispy Kreme donuts.
Fucking
I
love.
I like their
regular.
glaze, but that's all I've ever had really.
Well, it's like I mean, their other donuts are okay. But it's like I like the glaze. Their regular glazed donuts are fine, but not warm.
Oh, I love them. I love them.
No, the whole point of that's why it's called Krispy Kreme. It's because when it cools, the cream gets crispy.
No,
that's the whole
right
point
off the press, dude. God damn, those things are so good.
They just taste weird to me.
Oh
that
no,
way.
no, man.
I like their chocolate frosted glazed donuts.
I remember. No, I don't like those ones for some reason. I don't like their chocolate, I guess. But I do like the regular glazed donuts, fresh. Oh God, dude. I remember the first time that Krispy Kreme showed up in Colorado. I drove clear across town to get them, and I was not disappointed in the least. They're horrible for you, but they're really, really good. All right, we're going to talk about some.
They're not as bad for you as bagels are.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's move on to our free-for-all. This week, we're going to have a fun topic. We're not going to talk politics in the free-for-all. We will talk about Halloween, though. This is Halloween weekend.
I actually had another Sweeto, but I think I can probably talk about this next week. So I'm going to put this in our show notes for next week. So we need to talk about Halloween.
Yeah. But no, man.
I know you weren't going to talk about Halloween, so I have to.
How dare you? How dare you? All right.
Frank's actually Dracula.
So, my question to you guys this week is, we do this every year. What are your favorite Halloween, kind of in the vein of Halloween games and movies? Let's start with Mug.
Favorite Halloween games and movies. Well, one of my favorites ever since the first time I watched it. One of my favorite, just creepy movies. It's not really Halloween themed, but it is creepy as hell. Is The Children?
Uh-huh.
The British,
that's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, British horror movie from 2008. About two families meet and they're getting together for the holidays, and the kids start acting weird, and it's like vaguely
Yeah.
There's murder and there's some blood and guts and everything. But it's like it's being a British film. It's not shy about showing some graphic violence happening to children.
The Children's a great movie. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, it is an intense film. It's very well worth checking out. If you happen to have HBO Go or HBO Now, whatever it's called at the moment.
Yep.
I believe it's still available for streaming on there right now.
Yeah.
We'll see. My favorite horror game of all time is always going to be the original Silent Hill on PS1.
Oh God, so good. Yeah.
And it's still to this day the scariest game I've ever played.
Yeah.
But for the Halloween kind of thing, just like the schlocky sort of horror, I also really like Until Dawn on PS4.
Ooh, that's a good choice. That's a good choice.
It's a good one. I would also recommend checking out the Clive Barker adaptation Dredd, D-R-E-A-D, not the Judge Dredd type thing.
Not the
Not-
Sylvester Stallone deal.
Not the one with the slow-mo drug and all that kind of shit. No, this is a completely different movie.
Yeah.
But let's see.
How
Yeah,
dare you?
Oh yeah,
people.
either version, both the original and the remake, either version of The Hitcher.
Oh yes,
Both
they're
have-
both good.
Both have,
Yeah.
both have their merits.
Yeah.
Night of the Creeps
Oh,
is
good
an
one.
old classic horror comedy kind of thing. The Thing, of course.
Oh, The Thing is awesome. Yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah, that is a good movie.
Yeah. Let's see. Identity is a good one. It's a little more thriller than horror, but it really does it fits the Halloween vibe really well.
You're exiled, Breakman, son of a bitch.
Exile, that was a good game. Now, no, I'm trying to think off the top of my head, and it's just like, God, there's so many that
Oh
I've watched.
God, I
Like,
know. Dude, the list goes on and on. Let's move on to
Yeah,
Breakman. Breakman,
yeah,
which
really does.
ones do you?
I was looking in chat because I always say like the same horror games. Like I always say The Suffering because I guess that's probably my favorite horror game.
God,
Oh
that's
yeah,
a
that
great
was,
game.
I really did enjoy that one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I remember
love
Stan.
that.
They got Stan Winston Studios to design the monsters.
Yeah, that was a great game.
Chat Freak says the first two Resident Evils.
Yep.
Those were good.
For sure.
Actually, I always liked the third one. It was always that was one of that was the only classic Resident Evil that I got into.
Oh,
The third
Nemesis?
one probably was the scariest of them because it had Nemesis
Yeah.
who would actually follow you through like load screens and shit.
I kind of
Well,
hate
that
it.
was
Those
fucked up.
plot was kind of.
Well, the thing was, like, Resident Evil, the Resident Evil 3's plot wasn't, it wasn't as
to be
significant.
fair to Resident Evil 3, it was originally called Resident Evil 3: The Last Escape or Biohazard: Last Escape.
Yeah,
So-
it wasn't going to be. It was named Resident Evil 3 because of a contractual thing with Sony.
Hey,
But, it's like it's not the most story significant, but again, it's like the plot in Resident Evil games is kind of a joke anyway.
yeah,
It is of the original 3 games, it is easily the most intense.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Like I
Well,
said, that whole Nemesis following you, that was
and
what
it-
really.
yeah.
And it plays better, like with the quick turn and the dodge move and stuff like that. It
Yeah.
plays the best of the 3.
Wasn't it the first Resident Evil to make use of a full 3D environment?
No, that was Code Veronica.
Yeah, Code
Well,
Veronica.
I think they had parts of it that were still like rendered complete 3D, but like only parts.
No,
So it was,
everything in
like,
that game
halfway-
was pre-rendered. Everything in RE3 was pre-rendered.
What about you, Breakman?
Dino Crisis, Dino Crisis was fully 3D.
Oh, Dino Crisis is a good game too. I like that game.
I never played Dino Crisis. That was Dinosaurs in
Dino
Space.
Crisis
right?
was good. Dino Crisis 2 is
No.
Don't play Dino
Crisis
Crisis 3.
fully- Dino Crisis 3 is the Dinosaurs in Space one with the
Oh,
world's
okay.
worst, literally
Yeah,
the
yeah.
world's worst camera in
Yep.
any game ever
Yep,
made.
Yep. Breakman, what movie?
Even worse than Ninja Gaiden 2 because fuck, I couldn't finish that game because the camera was so bad.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
I gotta
dude.
get to my games.
No,
Yeah,
the-
well, I was gonna say Dead Space. I thought was another good one, but
Ooh,
the
you took
monsters
mine.
in that were all like the boss fights were all the same. Was my biggest problem with that. Other than that, I thought it was a really good horror
I
game.
love Dead Space, man.
Yeah.
Dead Space 1 and 2 were awesome. 3 sucked. I didn't like 3 because they brought it out of space pretty much. But
The second one added those little baby heads, right?
oh god, yes, and they were
Those
fucking
were fucking
scary.
awesome. Like
Yeah.
that's good horror
The
thing right
first
there.
Dead Space is my
It-
favorite.
it
by
is so
far,
good. The
but
first Dead
it's
Space
really
is.
good.
Like I said, my only problem with it is the fucking boss monsters were all basically the same.
Yeah. Freak5 says not technically a horror game, but Dungeon of Daggeroth. Yeah, I could see that.
Okay, there's only one game that ever really scared the shit out of me, and it wasn't a horror game.
Oh, which one?
It was the original Wolfenstein 3D.
I thought you were gonna say Barbie. Barbie.
No.
Fun
Basically, when you're playing like on let's say a boss fight, and you get the lights down, and before you come up to the boss, he just suddenly screams at you like "coming for you."
Which game?
Original Wolfenstein.
Oh, yeah,
Wolfenstein
Wolfenstein.
3D.
Yeah, Wolfenstein.
Like that
yeah.
was scared the shit out of me.
So
like
what-
I'd be like killing zombies, and all of a sudden the boss
Yeah.
is like,
I don't know.
I
I'm
turn,
coming
and
for
all
you.
of a sudden
It's
there's a
kinda
boss
corny.
right in my face, and he screams at me,
Yeah.
"Coming for you!" I'm
Yeah.
like, run away!
Yeah. That's
I
that.
remember like the original Doom freaking me out with all
Oh,
the
yeah.
really, really well done. That was actually the first game that had extremely well done stereo sound. Like
Yeah.
the sound design on that game was amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why. Yeah, they did the same. Yeah, basically. Yeah.
You know,
I'm just gonna say yeah.
okay, I've got quite a few. I'm a huge horror fan, but you know all the classics like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 the other day, and it's
Oh, wow.
yeah,
Like the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Yes.
That is a weird ass movie.
it's a weird movie, but I have now a better appreciation for it. I remember thinking at the time that I saw it the first time that I didn't like it because it didn't have anything really to do with the first movie all that much, but I think now it's actually kind of a morbid, scary movie. Like it was. I watched it like what 2-3 days ago, and I don't remember it being as scary as it turned out to be. Now there were
It has its charms. It's a little
Yeah.
It's a little more weird than it is good. But
Yeah.
It is definitely entertaining.
Yeah, it's not the greatest horror movie in the world, but I think if you haven't seen it or you haven't seen it in a long time, you should watch it again. I'm a fan of all the Saw movies except for I think it was 5 that sucked really bad.
Five was not really good. At
Yeah,
all.
five was not the best. I want to see Jigsaw. If I had money, I'd go see that today. But anyways, let's see what else.
We'll probably go through that and what's it, Suburbicon today. So I can report on those next week.
All right. I really thought that Fatal Frame, the first game, was probably one of the scariest games I've ever played in my
I
Jesus
still haven't
Christ.
played any of those yet.
Fatal Frame,
Like,
to me,
Fatal Frame, it's a lot scarier if you can hear the Japanese
Yep.
audio. Because the dub
Yes.
is awful.
oh,
But
and also
the game itself is terrifying.
the sound is the best of any game I've ever played in my life. If you have a surround sound system, it is fucking awful to play, like in a good way. Like
Actually, what I've heard is that Fatal Frame 2 is like it's commonly regarded as like the fan favorite of the series.
oh god, Fatal Frame 2 is awesome too, man. Fatal Frame 2 is really, really fucking good. But I still remember to this day playing Fatal Frame 1 and like almost literally like dropping my controller. It was that, you know, kind of jump scary, like I don't know.
What was that PlayStation game, original PlayStation, where you basically could only hide as there's a serial
Clock
killer in
Tower?
the building?
Clock
That's
Tower?
Clock
Oh,
Tower.
Clock Tower.
Yeah,
Clock
Oh,
Clock
Tower,
Tower.
that's a
okay.
sequel to Clock Tower for the Super Famicom.
Yeah,
That's
oh,
actually
God,
Clock
so
Tower
good.
2.
Yeah, Clock Tower and Clock Tower 3 I remember being pretty good too.
Don't play the American Clock Tower 2. It's awful. It has nothing to do with Clock Tower.
I loved Silent Hill 2. I know that might be unpopular with you, Mug,
Oh, Dungeon Buster brings up Condemned. I'm sorry, Frank. I
but
didn't cut you off.
Condemned is
Yeah,
a
the
great
original
game.
Condemned.
Condemned is a good game, yeah.
Wow, Condemned is a great game. I'm glad you brought that one up. That's
I've heard
It's
it's
like
got
it's
issues. I'd
not
rather just watch a
aged
Let's Play.
no, dude.
Yeah,
play
it's
the
not-
game.
yeah,
It's
the
fun.
original Condemned has not aged super well. I
Oh,
mean,
it's
visually,
so
it's just like
good.
it's pretty rough around the edges.
So good,
Um,
so good.
Actually,
I-
another one that's like it's not really a scary game, but it certainly has like the creepy sort of vibe to it. Is the original The Darkness?
The
Discovery
Darkness, yeah.
Studios.
I played The Darkness 1. I didn't play it all the way through, but it does have kind of.
Oh, what about Eternal Darkness?
Oh, that's a great
Yeah,
one.
there you go.
I
That
never
is
finished
one of
that,
my
actually.
all-time favorite
What did I?
games. You win
I
the
never
internet
finished it either,
today.
but it was a fun game.
Oh God, man, I love that game, man. I thought it was pretty scary too. I need to go
Or,
back and play that.
how about Blood Omen: The Legacy of Cain?
Blood Omen? That's a good one. It not super
This
scary.
isn't a
but-
horror game, but how about the entire Sith Academy section of the original Knights of the Old Republic?
Yeah. That I can see that. I like as
Since
far
I
as
once played through Knights of the Old Republic, I don't remember that bit.
you know, one of my now favorite scary movies of all time is Get Out. Get Out is a great fucking movie,
Yeah,
man.
it
And
is. It is a damn good movie. I wouldn't mind seeing it again.
it still gives me the chills when I see it. I've seen that movie literally like 4 or 5 times already, and I know it's a newer movie, but it deserves, in my opinion, to be on the pantheon of great scary movies, because it's kind of icky. It gives you that icky, weird kind of like you've been kidnapped feeling during the whole
And
thing.
actually, just as an aside, I'm just looking at stuff on the PlayStation Store.
Yeah.
They've got their Sale of the Dead thing going on,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the games on sale this week is the digital version of Blood Omen: Legacy of Kain. They're selling it for $1.79.
Oh, you got to get out and buy that right away.
I think
great.
Soul Reaver's a better series.
Soul Reaver's good too.
It is.
I prefer Legacy of Kain
but,
series.
but Legacy of Kain, Legacy of Kain was kind of, it's mechanically it could really do with like kind of kind of a modernized remake,
Yeah.
just to smooth out some of its rough edges.
Yeah.
But it's it's still especially if you like well done story and good writing and good voice acting, it's like you really can't go wrong with that game.
Yeah.
Michael Caine.
Wyland linked us a
Well.
picture of the first images of the new actor playing Pinhead. I didn't know there was going to be a new Hellraiser movie, but apparently there is.
I didn't know that either, but I'm gonna pull it up right now. Those are great movies. I like the first one.
They'll
the
disappoint you.
I was gonna say like the first one is still great. The rest is like Hellraiser 2 is like, oh okay, it's still got good points, and the rest of the series is just like very hit or miss, mostly a lot of misses.
I like 1 through 3. I know 3 gets a lot of flack, but I like 3 because they did really good job with the design of the Cenobites in that one.
I was gonna say, like, that's the only thing
Wait,
I really care about. Like, I just want to see like the cool ass Cenobites.
And there was a
The
really
Cenobites
hot
3
chick
were
at the beginning.
awful. Those were the ones where like you had the fucking CD Cenobite and the guy with a camera for an eye and shit. Those were terrible designs.
No, those were great, man.
That one is the one that I've probably seen the most.
Oh, God, I love
like
those.
I don't know. Like I still
thing.
like those.
No,
I'm
I
with
like
Frank
them.
on this one.
Hellraiser 3. The best
Yeah.
part of Hellraiser 3 was the art thing, the statue thing that was like the
The
giant
statue
that
was
column
awesome. The hot chick at the beginning too, that blonde. I always remember that as being like, one of the reasons I would watch
your
that.
curve.
Yeah, I mean, but let's see, Hellraiser 1 through 3 I liked. Let's see, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1 and 2. I didn't like the remake.
Or the fucking modern sequel thing.
yeah,
it
was
this chainsaw.
Just
The actress,
completely.
the actress was awesome, just mostly because she was ridiculously fucking gorgeous.
yeah.
But she was literally the only good thing in that entire movie. I was like, this is fucking unbearable.
Which one? I'm sorry. Which one are you talking about?
In Texas Chainsaw.
Oh yeah, the chick in it was. Yeah.
The girl, she had that this wavy raven black hair and these gorgeous, like ice blue eyes.
Yep.
And she was just like stunningly beautiful.
Yep.
I mean, it's not even just like, wow, she's hot. I mean, just, like,
whatever
holy crap,
happened to that chick? Because she
I don't
was,
know.
man, she was something else for sure, man. No question about it.
Yeah,
man.
she was literally the one good thing in that movie. Just like,
Yeah.
okay, like at least she's nice to look at. Otherwise, I would turn this off.
Oh, so it's like the Power Rangers movie.
I used to have a big time crush on Ashley Lawrence. I don't know if you got that from Hellraiser. I thought she was hot.
Oh yeah.
Man. Yeah. Freak 5 is exiled, so there you go.
Yeah, speaking of Freak 5, apparently, I completely forgot. I'm sorry, Freak 5. You mentioned it, and I read it out loud and everything, but episode 100 of Zombies Anonymous was just this past week. He's gonna release it online this weekend.
Make sure
But there was a contest, and I apologize, Freak. I forgot. He only had 2 contestants enter, and because not many people entered, he's now got to ship it to Australia.
Oh man, yeah. Listen to that show. They talk zombies, zombie movies. I love them too. Night of the Living Dead, all-time classic. I think that film still holds a lot of relevance to right now. Dawn of the Dead, of that trilogy, I think Dawn of the Dead is the most not thought about, but I really like Dawn of the
No,
Dead.
dude, no. Dawn of the Dead is the fan favorite.
I
yeah,
like Dawn of the Dead.
it was remade because it was the fan favorite, and the
I'm
remake
thinking,
was good too.
You know what I'm thinking of?
I
thinking
mean, my
of.
personal favorite was always Day of the Dead.
Yeah,
because
see, I was
loved
gonna
the
say.
characters and the writing, and I loved Bub.
Yes, that's what I meant. Day of the Dead is the one that doesn't get a lot of credit, but I love that movie.
Okay.
That's the one. We used to have a show called Dead Men Talking, and part of the intro, there was that. Do you remember the scene with that asshole military guy that got kind of ripped apart, and he was so fucking, he was an asshole to the end. He was my favorite character. Because he was a dick.
The actor's name is Joe Pilato, but
Joe Pilato, yeah.
He was, but the character's name is Rhodes.
And if for those who don't know what he was saying choke on him.
Choke on him.
Yep, choke on him. Because I had a lot of people ask me about that, but he actually said choke on him. Like as the guts are being pulled from his insides, he's telling the people or the zombies choke on him. You know
the story of that scene, right?
I have. I know that they used like real like kind of pig guts or something that stunk.
Yeah, but do you know why that was? Well, in and of itself, it was a fine idea because you use the real thing, you get authentic splatter and everything.
Yeah.
But it's like I'm assuming Eric and Drake haven't seen this, but basically it's like he's getting torn apart. So he's like,
I've seen the clip.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like at the bottom of his body is buried in the.
Wait, what are we talking about again? Are we still on Day of the Dead?
Yep, Day of the Dead.
Yeah, Day of the Dead. But it's like the bottom of his body is buried in the ground, and like the floor is built up around him, and there's a fake body attached to his torso that the zombies are going to rip open and pull his guts out and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, but what happened was they were using like real pig intestine that they got from a butcher, and they kept in a fridge and everything. And but what happened was everyone went like one weekend. Or it may have been, I think actually it might have been a week, but they broke shooting for however many days.
Yeah.
But what nobody realized was that right before, or like right as everyone was leaving, if it was either a breaker or something got unplugged, but either way, the power for the refrigerator that was keeping the guts from rotting,
died.
Yep. So they were, like by that point by the time they got back, they smelled like rotting intestines, which is what they were.
Yep.
But they were on such a tight budget, they had to just go ahead and use them.
Yep.
So
and
so like what they were having to do, they were putting like this perfume and menthol and shit under Joe Pilato's nose, just because it was just like I've seen footage and they're like they're doing the shot and he's doing like he's screaming and everything, and then
because it stinks.
Oh God, no. I mean, but he's acting, he's being a trooper, but it's like they say cut and you just see him do this, like he turns his head to the side and he just shudders, and I was like, oh dude, I'm so sorry. It's like you cannot help but feel bad for him knowing that.
I remember that story, dude.
And everyone in the set is like, the zombies in there are sitting there like fanning him, waving their hands in front of him, like trying to get the smell away from him and everything. I'm just like, oh man, and he's stuck there. He literally cannot move.
He can't move from that position. Yeah, I remember that story, man. It was an awful story. If you want, this is for all the people with kids that are listening. If you want some good kid movies to watch, I think Shaun of the Dead would be in that vein. The Others with Nicole Kidman would be a good one to show your kids.
Zombieland.
Zombieland would be a very good choice.
Let's see, another one that I had in mind. The Sixth
Killer
Sense.
Clowns.
Killer Clowns is a great one. My daughter loves the Killer Clowns. That and Return of the Living Dead are her favorite movies of all time. Oh, and
guys, I gotta duck out. Okay.
Okay, man. Creature from the Black Lagoon, Dracula, Wolfman, Invisible Man. All those, old classic horror movies, those would be great to show the kids. Let's see. Night of the Living Dead 3D would not be one to show to your kids. That's from Freak 5 with Sid Haig. I haven't seen that movie. I heard okay things about it.
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters, great.
Ghostbusters is one of my favorite movies.
Any of the Ghostbusters movies would be fine for kids. Definitely Monster Squad. God damn, I love that movie.
Gremlins would be another good one for kids.
Yeah, Gremlins. If we're not talking kids, again,
The Gate.
The Gate's a good one for kids. It's kind of scary though.
Everyone should see Gremlins 2 because it is
Dark
one of the
Crystal's
best
kinda
sequels ever
scary.
made.
Yeah, Gremlins 2. Evil Dead series, of course.
Gremlins 2 invented meta. Just saying.
You know what I wish they would do with
Evil Dead series.
Yep.
What about
Evil
the
Dead
Dark
series?
Crystal?
They're hands down is the best.
What?
Dark Crystal.
Dark Crystal's another good one. The Blob, that's a great one. You know what I wish they would do with the Evil Dead?
Just don't listen to the theme song.
Really.
You know what I wish they
You
would.
said most of them, but I like to include Resident Evil 4.
Okay. You know
Resident Evil 2.
Okay, you done, Eric? Because that's probably the fourth time I've tried to get out this.
There was some of them.
There was.
Whatever, Frank.
Fuck, man, I can't remember. I had a really great movie. Son of a bitch. Oh well, it'll come to me as soon as I end the show.
Was it the Evil Dead?
No.
Evil Dead 2.
Oh,
Evil
no,
Dead 2, which is basically a remake of the first one.
No, but it did have to do with the Evil Dead. I wish they would do a Telltale series on the Evil Dead. I think that would be really, really fucking cool.
I want Evil Dead show to come to like Hulu or something so I can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the remake of Blair Witch, the new Blair Witch. I thought it was actually pretty fucking good.
Here's one the Castlevania anime.
Yeah,
that was good. But
that's so good.
I hate Blair Witch. After the first movie, I will not see anything fucking Blair Witch again. Blair Witch is the worst fucking movie ever.
No way, not the new one.
It's
the new
such the original Blair Witch is one of the worst movies ever. It's such a terrible movie.
It hasn't aged well. At the time, I thought it was scary because I saw it at the theater.
Well, look, at the time, the only reason they were able to market it and get away with it is they tried to convince people that it was real.
Well,
that's the only reason they made any money.
So why is Wyland saying Evil Dead 2 is in a remake?
It's not. It's not really a remake.
It's not. I said it was basically. I didn't say it was. It's not.
Yeah.
They might as well be, you mean?
They don't want to call it a remake, but basically it was just a redo of the original.
Yeah, see, look, Wyland agrees with me. The new Blair Witch is good. I thought it was good, too. I liked it quite a bit.
Would you consider any of the Blade films, like...
Yeah, vampires, dude. Vampires, of course.
Yeah, but weren't the Blade films more action, though?
No.
Yeah, but you can have action and horror.
Blade is a vampire, dude. Of course it would be Halloween related.
I never saw Blade 3, Blade 2. It wasn't as good as Blade 1.
No, Blade 2 was
watch
great.
The third one just kind of didn't happen.
Yeah, the third,
even though it was still awesome.
The third one.
Blade 2 is one of those rare sequels where the sequel is better than the original.
Oh god, the Blade 2. You know why that is? One of my all-time favorite directors, Guillermo del Toro, directed Blade 2. So that's why you got a really good.
Anyone want to see a Del Toro less movie of a Pacific Rim?
Yeah, I'm down, but I want to see Del Toro's Shape of Water. That's the one that I want to see. It's
Isn't that the Creature from the Black Lagoon movie?
Sort of. It's in the vein of that, but I think it's got a love story. One that nobody talk about around Halloween, but I think is an excellent film that everybody should watch near Halloween, or if you're a Halloween fan, is The Devil's Backbone. It's a subtitle.
Oh.
It's a great movie. That movie's so good. Kronos is another one if you like those type of movies. Anything from Cronenberg. Nightbreed, the extended edition is really good. Not the theatrical cut. That was awful.
Did you go Blade Runner, a horror movie?
No, that's a science fiction movie, dude. But
you made me completely forget what I was gonna say. You threw me off. What the hell, man?
Oh, another one for kids. Critters. That would be a good one to watch.
Oh no, that movie's terrible.
No, it's a good kids movie, dude.
It's better than Ghoulies, though. Oh.
Ghoulies is another one.
Too.
that movie's terrible, but good for kids for sure, man. Let's see, what else?
I don't know if movies that are still violent are considered good for kids, though.
Dude, nowadays kids have seen almost everything, and if you don't expose your kids to stuff like that, then
Oh man,
they
there
grow
are sheltered kids though.
Yeah,
Eric,
they're
I'm not saying you
sheltered.
should keep kids sheltered. It's just
Ooh.
how old kids we're talking about.
Are
here.
you saying ooh cat people? No, that was not a good movie.
Oh,
No.
dude, no, that's good. People Under the Stairs. Yeah, I agree
You know
with
what movie
you.
I thought was really creepy was What Lies Beneath.
Has anybody
yeah,
has
that's
anybody watched any of the Junji Ino
yes,
film adaptations?
yes, I have.
So you've seen
That freaks us all the Leprechaun
I've yet
movies.
seen Uzumaki, but what's it like?
I like the Leprechaun
okay.
movies, but I watched them like I was saying about Scream 3. Yeah. I was thinking Scream
Another
movie in my head.
under.
But like Scream 3, like I watched that kind of the same way as the Leprechaun movies. I watched the Leprechaun movies as comedies.
Yeah, Cat's Eye's a good movie. I wouldn't recommend kids watch that.
Oh,
movie,
Cat's
though.
Eye was that anthology movie,
Yeah,
right?
it had 3 stories. One was
Yeah,
The
that one is
Ledge,
really good.
Yeah, it's good. It's really
That
good.
is especially
That
especially the
little
story
elf.
with that little monster
Yep, the little
that's
elf.
trying to kill that kid.
Yep, Little Elf.
Oh my, that is an
Yeah.
amazing movie. Good
Yeah.
call, freak.
Yeah. It's a good movie. There was.
Question.
Hold on. Before you get to your question, Eric, let me get this movie out. If you haven't seen a movie called Creep, watch it. It's fucking creepy. But yeah, Creep is a good one.
With that title.
Cabin in the Woods, good. Creep Show, Dungeon Buster says. What were you gonna say, Eric?
Okay, so Blade Runner's considered sci-fi. Could I don't know. Maybe I could bend the rules a bit and say Akira's a horror movie.
Yeah, I mean, because he does morph into like a giant monster that's destroying everything.
Yeah.
It's kind of a psychological horror up until, especially to that point.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I
you
mean,
can count
he
that.
does murder all those innocent people when he's like getting his powers in graphic and horrible ways. I mean, yeah.
I like Cabin in the Woods.
Okay, I can get behind that one as a horror movie.
I like Cabin in the Woods. Okay, I thought it was a little overrated, but I didn't mind it. It didn't offend me. So you know, Freak says he hasn't seen Cat People since the '80s. Yeah, it's
That's a Stephen King movie, isn't it?
No, it is not.
No, it is not. Okay, either way, it's terrible.
Yeah. You know what
was bad.
movie that
Has anybody seen Metropolis?
It's good. Masterpiece. Watch it.
I've only watched the anime adaptation though.
You gotta watch the original. The
Well, I heard there's like 2 different versions of the original film.
there could be.
'Cause, like one of them was heavily edited.
I've seen almost everything. Oh,
So how do I find the not so heavily edited version?
How could I forget Puppet Master, man? God,
I mean, technically it's still heavily edited, but
you
it's
know,
like less so.
the one thing I remember from the Puppet Master series, that I don't know if it was 1, 2, or 3, but there was this black-haired chick in it. I always remember the chicks in these movies, of course, but oh man,
I don't think that's the third one.
I think it was.
I don't think
either
so. One or two, I'm thinking.
Yeah, there was
What about
this Fido.
damn it.
That's a good one, Fido.
What about the Twilight Zone movie?
Oh, it's not good per se, but there's one story in there that is okay. But if you're looking for a good anthology, find VHS 2. The second story in that is about this cult, and I love that story. I think it's
But the movie's
scary
called
as fuck.
VHS.
VHS 2. There's 2 VHS movies. They're both anthology movies. What's that? Oh, Trick or Treat. If you haven't seen Trick or Treat, that's a good anthology movie for sure. What else? There's so many. We could go on.
I forget to
Tales
mention
from
this
the
earlier, but
Tales from the Crypt. And,
yes, Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah.
Demon Knight and
Demon Knight's
Bordello
great.
Blood.
I
Although Bordello Blood's the silly.
Yeah, Bordello Blood's just silly. I kind of like Bordello Blood because
I like basically everything Tales from the Crypt except for the last season
yeah.
of the show.
Tales from the Dark Side, the series was fucking awesome too. If you want
Tales from the Hood.
Tales from the Hood, I liked that movie actually.
It just seems so bizarre and stupid. But I might want to watch it one day. Anyway.
If you want to see bizarre and stupid, there's Leprechaun in Space and then Leprechaun.
What about Legend?
Oh,
There you go.
Legend's a
Demon.
good one, dude. Legend. I'm glad you brought. That's a good one to show kids too. It's kind of scary for kids though. Yeah, Tales from the Crypt for sure. Let's see. What else? It, the new version, really good. Sleepaway Camp.
Who suggested Sleepaway Camp?
Yeah. Sleepaway Camp is a good scary movie, man.
Isn't it like the mother of horror movies though, where it's just absolutely ridiculous?
It's not ridiculous, dude. It's actually really scary. It's really fucking scary, man. I don't want to spoil it for you, dude. There's a fucking twist in that movie that's probably one of the greatest twists in movies, period. So, I just watch it, dude. That's all I gotta say. Just watch it. God, there's so many. Halloween
for kids. That stupid one with Adam Sandler.
Oh God.
How much more time do we have? Because we could talk about like music too.
Oh, we got a few minutes, man. Go ahead, unless you guys have something.
I was gonna he's talking about somebody Tales from the Hood, and I was just thinking, I don't know why it reminded me of that, but Nightmare on My Street.
There's a shitty horror movie that you should see. It's Transylvania 65,000.
Yeah. Or 6,500 or whatever the fuck that movie was. There was if you want a good vampire movie that's kind of offbeat, watch the foreign film Let the Right One In. The American version was fine. It was good too. But the foreign one's really good. It's not for kids. Don't even though it involves kids, it's definitely not for kids. Halloween 1 and 2. I personally like 2 quite a bit. 3 gets a bad rap because it's not really anything to do with Michael Myers, but I did like 4, 5 not so much, and everything else not so much.
What sequel was the Mind Control sequel to a franchise?
3. That was Halloween 3.
Okay.
Season of the Witch. Yeah.
Oh my god.
It was a good movie on its own, but if you put it in the Halloween series, it didn't stack up at all. Yeah.
I don't think it was a good movie itself. Like, it was just like, what the?
Yeah, it's a good movie, but it's different. It's not great, but it shouldn't have been in the Halloween series. What were you gonna say, Eric?
What about The Burbs?
I never saw that.
I guess it's a kid movie. I saw The Burbs in the theater. That's how old I am.
Wyland says 3 is great.
I know it's not a horror movie, but I thought it was pretty freaky at the end of Fletch Lives.
I remember when Tom Hanks was funny.
Wait, Poultrygeist? Really? Oh, I forgot about Child's Play.
Poultrygeist.
If you guys have not seen, I have a new found respect.
Oh, there you go, Frank. Wyland agrees with you. He liked the 3rd Halloween.
Yeah, I told you 3 is great. I
got him on your side.
I saw the original Child's Play.
Freak 5 says Child Play series. I have a new renewed vigor for that franchise because the last 2 movies that they made for Child's Play are fucking amazing. Especially
Cult of Chucky.
Especially Curse of Chucky. Curse of Chucky is fucking phenomenal. It's a great horror movie. If you haven't seen that, I would put it on your list immediately. To me, Child's Play: The Curse of Chucky was fucking amazing. It tied in all the movies in such a great way. It so good, so good. Cult was good.
Freak brings up now it's back. The Walking Dead season premiere was just this last week.
I did not like the first episode. So hopefully it'll get better this season. I wasn't a fan of the first episode this season, but yeah, The Walking Dead.
I like it. I quite enjoyed it. Yeah, actually.
I wasn't.
A lot of horror movies you shouldn't see. Species.
Oh, I like Species because.
Yeah, you should see Species. She's naked a lot in that movie.
That's like that has nothing to do with the actual content of the film itself.
Who cares?
Jennifer Tilly is fucking hot, man, and she can play poker like a motherfucker. I don't know if you've ever seen Jennifer
Tilly.
Tilly
It's not a horror movie, but you should watch Bound. You don't have to watch the whole movie. You can just fast forward.
Yeah, just get to the naked
I personally didn't like the movie for the most part, but you can just fast forward.
Same thing with Showgirls, you know. You can just fast forward to get to the boobs.
Yes, it's exactly.
There are a lot of people like poop on Cult of Chucky.
Yeah. So
Everybody
anyways,
you know what? Everybody hates Showgirls, but I like Showgirls.
yeah. I liked it for how campy it was, and plus,
Yeah, like it was. I don't know. Never
Berkeley,
mind. What were we talking about? Horror movies. So
Elizabeth Berkeley, man.
what were we talking about?
Have we gotten way over at this point?
No, but anyway, like The Walking Dead, like I fucking love Negan, man. Like they picked the perfect when they announced him as the actor to play Negan. Like I threw a party, and he has met all of my expectations.
He was really good.
Love him.
Dude, have you seen a show called Magic City? Jeffrey Dean Morgan was in that. He was good in that. It was really good.
He is a good actor. Like there was we were watching some horror movie he was in where he was the killer, and we were rooting for him the whole time. Like that he was the only thing good about the movie. Like everything else sucked. Like come on, killer.
Yeah, he's really good, man. Wyland says Alien. I would put that in the horror category for sure. The first Alien.
Yeah, Aliens.
Aliens.
There was a lot of horror elements to Aliens.
Aliens, I would probably put solidly in the action sci-fi category.
Well, but at first it
Alien.
seems like it's right. Alien, the first one is definitely a horror movie. But the second one, like I think that's kind of debatable. There are definitely elements of horror, like. At first, it seems like they're gonna be able to fight this.
I don't know. I put the first Predator more over the Aliens.
I love the first Predator.
I like the first Predator too.
Yeah, we did kind of start late, but like considering when we actually did start, we are over.
Yeah, we gotta go, guys. We could talk about this shit all day for sure, but it's been really, really fun. Eric, let's start with Breakman plugs.
Well, Jesus, about everything we talked about today. You can follow all that stuff. Follow me at break_man and at RPGrinders, and pledgeit.org. Donate away hate. I don't think I actually announced the whole website, but pledgeit.org, and it's /DONATEAWAYHATE, and they're the ones who are. They're happily protesting against Richard Spencer.
I like the way you said.
A new approach. I love it. I'm down for it. I hope it works. I don't know.
I like the way you said W. That was
W.
That was very Eastern W, man. That was.
Did I say W in there?
You said W. I liked it. Brought me back. To
there's. Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay.
All right, Eric, your plug, sir.
Well, first, before I do plugs, I do have a Stinko. And the Stinko was, great. Now I can't remember. That's my Stinko. I can't remember, but
The Omen's a good one. Exorcist, I forgot about Exorcist. Poltergeist, not so much.
Yeah, but Sweeto is discount candy for Halloween. But you can find other reviews that I've done. All the reviews, not all other reviews, and I've done on sites like BostonBasherBrigade.com, TotallyGN.com, and I've got like at least two up on TotallyGN this week, and hopefully I'll be getting the Yomawari review up before Halloween. I'm not sure if I will, but that's another good horror game that I wanted to mention that I didn't have time to mention. But
Babadook is good.
So you should check out Yomawari and Yomawari Midnight Shadows. That's the sequel.
Right.
But and then there's also my YouTube page, Funny T-Man, and I'm thinking of doing, like I said, I'm gonna try to get a Let's Play of Contra, maybe Super Contra up.
All right.
Because aliens are kind of scary too. So
there you go. All right. Anything else, Eric?
You can find me on Twitter at EricRPG.
Yeah.
Oh, Freak says you can plug him on PayPal at Freak5cast at Yahoo. So,
yeah.
There you go.
If you want to support,
you can plug him if you want.
If you want to support debauchery.
If you want to go plug a freak. There you go.
There you go. Life Force Dungeon Buster, dude. We need to hang out.
That's a game,
man.
yeah.
No, the movie.
You're talking about movies.
Well,
I like the game.
That reminds me, Abadox is a good.
I love Abadox. That's a great game, Abadox.
Life Force had one of the best NES endings, I think, of any game. If
All
you
right.
don't remember the end of it, basically you die at the end. You sacrificed yourself for the entire to save everyone else. You win, but you die. Like it was like, oh, that's cool. That's something
I think
unique.
that kind of happened in one of the R-Type endings, or no, one of the Darius endings.
I thought of a couple more movies and stuff, but now they escape my out to the ether. But anyways, my plugs are as follows. Follow me on Twitter at Frank Branches, at RPGrinders, as Breakman said. If you want to join the show live, we would love to have you in chat on YouTube. Or you can view us on wickedradionetwork.com. You can see us on twitch.com. You can see us on ustream.com. So any of the outlets, pretty much, iTunes after the fact. But if you want to join us live, it's every Saturday, 3 Eastern Time. Stay safe this weekend. Have a good, happy Halloween. Enjoy the time that you have with your kids on Halloween, because it's one of the few days where go ahead, Eric.
That just reminded me of something I heard over this week about how Fox News is trying to caution parents to check your child's candy to see whether or not it's got roofies in it or
boy.
marijuana, especially
Fucking
marijuana.
stupid. That's the dumbest thing. If somebody gave me marijuana,
there's a stinko.
Does that happen in Colorado? Is that the kind of candy you pass out there?
You know what? If you came to my house,
dude.
I just might. Not to kids, because I get in trouble.
Here's some reefer.
What are you doing in my house, dude?
Trick
You're
or
a trick or
bong.
treater. What the hell?
Trick or bong, man. Come on.
Here's a hookah.
That's the name of this episode. Trick or bong, man. All right. Stay safe this weekend, everybody.
It's time
and
to
also,
eat. It's food quest.
Eric, Jesus, let me get through it. All right. Stay safe this weekend, everybody. If you're going out trick-or-treating with the kids, be safe. Make sure they have all the safety attire that they need, because sometimes they don't look before they jump out into the street. We want to see you back here next weekend. Just be safe. Don't do anything stupid. Don't drink and drive. If you're in Denver,
well, don't listen to him. Do stupid stuff. That's the fun stuff.
Yeah, like shout Candyman's name in the dark bathroom.
If you happen to be in Denver and you get drunk on Halloween or this weekend, catch me on Twitter. I'll pick you up. I have a car. I want to see you back here next week. Until then, we are out. Later, everybody. All right, everybody, go eat. Get some food. Get your grub on. I'm going to do that.
Yeah, a lot of us didn't have lunch by the sound of it.
I know.
Not just me.
All right,
No,
guys.
I didn't have a breakfast.
Hey, Eric.
You haven't had breakfast or lunch? Ouch, yeah.
No, I got 2 things out of the vending machine at work while we're on break.
Hey,
hate
thanks
days like
everybody
that.
in chat. Tough luck on you, Freak 5. I hope you get hired real quick, dude.
TV Frank's
How
house.
dare you? How dare you? My house is not
Frick,
occupied
motherfucker.
by me. So, anyways, thanks, guys in chat. Dungeon Buster, Freak 5, Wyland, Bridget. I know Bridget was in the Twitch chat, so shout out to you too. Later, guys. Appreciate it. And the stream. I really, really, really do appreciate you guys listening live. Later, guys.